East Blue Derby Island. This is the headquarters of the Krieg pirates. Krieg's name, Krieg, means war. Krieg possesses tremendous strength that is unmatched by ordinary people. His weapon, the Great Gun, weighs more than a ton, but it is very easy to swing. The most important thing is that Krieg is ruthless, cruel, and full of ambition, which makes countless pirates surrender to his powerful strength. The chief battle captain, Arkin, surrendered to Krieg's ambition and strength. He is loyal to this captain, and no matter what task Krieg gives him, he will carry it out unconditionally, even if it means slaughtering weak enemies who have no power to resist. The recent appearance of the small group consisting of Big Daddy, Pirate Hunter, and Beiji has caused the Krieg pirates to jump up and down, and even the captain's temper has become quite grumpy. In addition to the more than 1,000 people who were killed before, all the reconnaissance ships sent out recently were gone. However, a reconnaissance ship escaped yesterday and brought back shocking news. Dadier Babaya, the captain of the Big Daddy pirates, officially declared war on the Krieg pirates. And he even arrogantly asked Captain Krieg to wash his neck and wait for them to come and harvest it. This made Krieg very angry, and he immediately gathered his troops and prepared to kill this newly formed small pirate group. Akin also carried out the orders given by Krieg very seriously, but he found that he actually admired the courage of the Big Daddy pirates. He asked himself that he would never dare to attack the thousands of Krieg pirates with just a few people. He suddenly looked forward to meeting the figure of Didi Babaya. He even thought about asking the captain to leave this guy's whole body when the time came. After all, he never thought that the Big Daddy pirates would win. He felt that Didi Babaya's courage was already comparable to Captain Krieg's ambition. He saw Krieg's strong ambition to conquer the Grand Line, so he followed him all the time. He also pinned his ambition on Krieg. Woo, woo, the rapid sound of the horn sounded, causing Ah Jin to immediately pick up his iron ball and crutches and rush out. The Big Daddy pirates are actually here, as this stupidity, courage, are unparalleled spirit. At the pirate port on Deber Island, Krieg looked at the approaching pirate ship with a cruel look on his face. There was a pirate flag that appeared for the first time on it. The skull didn't look like a skeleton. It had no pirate characteristics at all. It was just a mess. Today, he will let this new pirate group sink into the sea. Singled out? It is impossible to fight one-on-one. He just wanted to cover up and kill this unknown pirate group with firepower. So what if the crew is strong in combat? It's better to die under their firebombing. At this time, Dai Dai stood on the bow of the Beiji Braku, looking at the island with high morale. Today will be a real bloody battle. This new pirate flag was designed by Dai Dai himself. It is not a traditional skull, but a combination of the Transformers Decepticons logo and Susanoo, full of the hard three-dimensional feel of the barrier fruit. Seeing the more than 30 pirate ships of the Krieg pirates starting to turn their guns on their own pirate ships, the Catman brothers were already sweating. Come on. Enter the rage. Django began to take out a metal ring and superimposed a hypnosis buff on the Catman brothers and swordsman Gorith. On the high platform of the port, a huge loudspeaker appeared. Dedi Babaya. Today is your day of death. However, if you can survive my artillery bombardment, I will give you a chance to challenge me. Ha ha ha. Krieg laughed cruelly. Did he really think he would directly challenge Dai Dui in a duel? Being able to conquer Beiji Crow shows that he has good strength, but he is not 100% sure if he fights one-on-one. But who is he? He is the overlord of East Blue. Not these stupid budding pirates. Even if Dai Dai is really that strong and can survive so many artillery attacks, he must have been injured or consumed a lot of energy. By then, he will be able to easily kill this arrogant guy. But the next moment, a blue-white light wave shot over, scaring Krieg so much that he jumped off the high platform crazily, and the high platform exploded and fell down. This is Sonic Edrago. Why is he also on Dai Dai's ship? Krieg roared in shock and anger. Then this Big Daddy pirate group has gathered several powerful East Blue pirates. Another sonic cannon blasted down several pirate ships, scaring the Krieg pirates into a little commotion. Fire the cannons. Hurry up and fire the cannons to sink them. Krieg shouted angrily. He couldn't believe that there were more than 3,000 people and they couldn't defeat a few people. The entire port of Deber Island immediately erupted with continuous artillery fire. A girl with short orange hair also took the opportunity to enter the interior of Dubai Island on a pirate ship. She even prayed that the Big Daddy pirate group could last a little longer so that she could steal more treasures. Rush me. Super large barrier dreadnought battleship. Dai Dai stood on the bow of the ship, with his hands folded. A huge cone barrier surrounded the pirate ship, ignoring the bombardment of more than 30 pirate ships, and crashed directly into the port of Deb Island. Krieg. Get your King life. Dai looked up to the sky and roared, and was the first to kill on the island. At this time, he felt unprecedented blood, and his murderous intention was soaring to the sky. If you are a man, you should be violent. He held the third-generation Kitetsu, his eyes stained with blood red, transformed into a war harvester, and rushed into the dense group of pirates. With the shield of thorns on his back, wherever he went, flesh and blood flew everywhere, and he slashed below. 2 or 3 pirates were cut into pieces. He completely ignored Zoro and Crow's life and death, and was caught up in his own pleasure of killing. Only by surviving can he become his crew. Now there is only one word in his mind: kill. Killing one is a crime, killing 10,000 is a hero. If you slaughter 9 million, you will be the hero among the heroes. Seeing how crazy Dai was, Beiji Crow also showed a ferocious smile, transformed into a ruthless cat demon, brandished the espada catclaw, and carried out indiscriminate slaughter. Zoro, on the other hand, had a clear goal and went straight to the 2 masters, Krieg and Demon King, and chopped down any pirates in his way without any mercy. The crew members of the Krieg pirates on the pirate ship also disembarked to surround and kill the Big Daddy pirates who forcibly broke through the artillery net. Seeing such a bloodthirsty and crazy Dai, Krieg couldn't help but feel a little scared, but he still kept ordering his men to surround and kill Dai. He wanted to kill this bastard with his numbers. When this mad dog didn't have much strength, he would go up and kill Dai. The Cat brothers, Zangao, and swordsman Goroth chose to surround Edrago's fort, not only to protect Edrago with sufficient attack time, but also to improve their own survival rate. Otherwise, they would not be able to last long if they were surrounded by dense pirates. After killing hundreds of people, Dai finally let out some of his anger and murderous intent. When he saw Krieg, he laughed wildly and killed him. When Ghostman Akin saw the pirate hunter Zoro continuously killing his pirates and rushing towards Captain Krieg, he immediately took action to block him. Use your iron ball and crutches to block this powerful 3-sword swordsman. His Ghostman fighting skills were actually suppressed by this pirate hunter's 3-sword style swordsmanship, which shocked him greatly. This is just a young pirate hunter with no bounty on his head and a young adult. How could it be so strong? Hurry up and get him. Stop him. Krieg kept pushing up the pirates around him, just to block Daiduo, the god of death, and consume his physical strength. But seeing so many of their comrades dead at the hands of Dai, these minions were also frightened. Their faces were pale, their whole bodies were trembling, and they already had the intention of running away. This pirate is so scary. Go to lousy. Whoever dares to retreat, I will kill him, the admiral. Krieg immediately shot and killed an escaping pirate, showing a terrifying expression like a demon, which frightened the pirates so much that they could only grit their teeth and attack. Only then did Krieg show a satisfied expression. He raised his gun again and pointed it at Daiduo, the bastard, ready to launch a sneak attack at any time. He has already seen that this bastard Dai is a demon fruit power, and he is also invulnerable, so he has to find a key flaw. He touched a poison gas bomb on his waist, but seeing so many men surrounding him to kill Dai, he could only endure it. Otherwise it would be not worth it to poison all these men to death. It's just that what happened next was hard for him to accept. Dai, the bastard, didn't seem to get tired, and he didn't feel tired at all after cutting for an hour. This has brought the morale of the Krieg pirates to a freezing point, and they have already suffered more than half of their casualties. Including the fleet that had been wiped out by the Big Daddy pirates, their current number is less than 2,000, and under the massacre of the Big Daddy pirates, it is still decreasing, and is approaching 1,500. The entire port of Dabai Island can be described as a river of blood and corpses strewn everywhere, which has caused the remaining pirates to suffer a psychological collapse. The escaping pirates kept appearing, and Krieg couldn't stop them even with his shot. Seeing this situation, Krieg also knew that he could not go on like this, and he finally waved his big gun and killed Dai. Krieg's action finally gave these pirates a glimmer of hope again. Clang. Krieg slashed with a nearly sneak attack, and the heavy battle gun hit Dai, but the appearance of a barrier made the sneak attack in vain. Are you finally willing to take action, coward? Dai violently swung Krieg away. At this moment, he was covered in blood, and his hair was stained with blood. He wiped his head with blood and came out. The cloak was soaked in blood and he had thrown it away. His upper body was naked, revealing his knotted muscles. You don't have much strength left. Krieg grinned. He saw that Dai Duo's hand holding the knife was already trembling a little, and he must have entered fatigue. This guy actually killed 700 or 800 of his men in just 1 hour, which made him heartbroken. After all, he has recruited all the strong pirates in the nearby waters, and he doesn't know how long it will take to restore his fleet of 5,000 people. His plan to conquer the Grand Line may also be delayed, all thanks to this Dai Dai. More than enough to kill you. Dai Dai grinned and said, he was trembling with excitement, not trembling with no strength. People who can practice armament hockey will not be much worse in physical condition. We have only been fighting for an hour, then come on. Krieg, who is equipped with several pieces of armor, is also very confident in his defense power. It's almost done today. I'm going to kill you in another way. Are you ready to die? Dai Duo put away his third-generation ghost, showed an excited smile, and began to use his Barrier Devil Fruit ability. Barrier Susanoo Phase 1 Unit 0. Pieces of barrier armor appeared on his body, and they began to be combined. A Gundam mecha that was several times cooler than Mr. Three's Candle Champion and Cracker's Biscuit Soldier appeared, full of a heavy mechanical feel. Most importantly, it sparkles like the diamond body of a sparkling fruit. This is a trick that Dai Dai spent a lot of time developing. Mecha Gundam is a man's romance. What is this? Krieg looked at this 4 to 5 meter tall transparent mecha giant with a bit of trepidation, and swallowed unconsciously. Zoro, who was fighting against the Ghostman Ajin, saw the appearance of the mecha, and his eyes lit up. He was already envious when Dai Dai was developing it. The next moment, Ajin's fierce attack struck again, forcing him to concentrate on dealing with this enemy. Crow had already stopped using his indiscriminate, dip to death, ultimate move and used silent steps to hunt down the resistors in the crowd. The Ed Drago sonic turret protected by 4 people was invincible. Wherever the sonic waves went, all pirates were killed, and many pirates were killed. On the other side, the orange-haired girl who had completed the theft and was waiting for an opportunity to evacuate had just arrived at the port and saw a cruel battlefield like hell. She almost vomited out. The various dead pirates, with flesh and blood flying everywhere, caused a psychological shadow to her, a little thief cat. Are these all caused by the Big Daddy pirates? Then she saw the famous East Blue Overlord, Krieg, being grabbed by one leg by a robot-like monster like a kitten or puppy, and was smashed left and right on the ground. It looked very miserable, and was finally thrown out. As a result, the direction it flew towards was exactly where she was hiding, which frightened her pupils to shrink suddenly. Boom. Krieg's body was smashed into the building, and the wall suddenly collapsed into ruins, with countless rocks splashing out. The orange-haired woman behind the wall retreated in fear. Although she avoided the danger of being hit, the baggage on her shoulders was scratched by flying stones, and a large amount of gold jewelry was immediately scattered out. The huge movement caused countless pirates to look at the battle between the two captains, and the thief hiding in the building was immediately discovered. Being stared at by so many pirates, Nami's scalp was numb and frightened, but she gritted her teeth and quickly plucked the treasures on the ground, hoping to pick up some and run away immediately. But the next moment, a mecha appeared in front of her with a roaring sound. This frightened her so much that her hands and feet became stiff, her face turned pale, and she raised her head and looked at the giant slowly. But the giant didn't seem to pay attention to the orange-haired girl. Instead, he took out Krieg from the ruins and grabbed his entire head. Nami was so frightened that she turned around and wanted to run away, but a huge war gun was suddenly inserted in her path, which made her pants wet. She turned back stiffly, and then another pair of golden armor hit her side hard. I saw this East Blue Overlord, unable to resist in front of this mecha, and the armor and weapons on his body were constantly torn off. Seeing Krieg's tragic defeat, these pirates finally lost their last hope, and their morale collapsed instantly. The next moment, a certain pirate gangster said, "Run away," and the pirates in the entire port of Dubai Island exploded, and all the pirates fled in all directions. Some team captains went crazy to rob those pirate ships, trying to escape from this terrible island. Even if Crow, the god of death, wanted to keep these pirates behind, he couldn't stop so many fleeing pirates by himself. However, he saw the captain of the second unit of the Krieg pirates, Iron Wall Baloo, a cadre equipped with iron wall shields. Without saying a word, he went to kill him. With his speed, he opened several bloody wounds on Taibi Baloo in an instant. Taibi Baloo, who was still panicking at first, suddenly lost his mind after seeing his own blood, became furious, and his shield burst into flames, turning into Flame Baloo. But in the end, just relying on the special characteristics of this weapon, the cruel Crow quickly made hundreds of wounds and fell to the ground bleeding. Edrago, the Cat Brothers, and Zango all excitedly beat up the drowned dogs. When they saw the pirates, they wanted to drive away the Krieg pirates' main ship, the dreadnought battleship Saber. They immediately went to kill them angrily, trying to get back these trophies belonging to the Big Daddy pirates. Seeing the complete defeat of the Krieg pirates, Ghostman Akin couldn't believe this fact. Thousands of them were actually defeated by a few people. Is this still the Overlord of East Blue? Is this still the Krieg pirates who have their own ambitions? On the other side, Krieg didn't even have a chance to use the gas bomb before he was violently knocked unconscious by Dai Dai. Like the Hulk hitting Loki, the bones in his body were shattered and fractured, and he was completely hopeless. Dai Dai never thought about subduing Krieg, because Dai Dai wanted to embark on the world journey in the name of this East Blue Overlord. Captain Krieg. The Ghostman agent looked at the invincible Krieg, who was actually beaten to death by Dai Dai. His eyes were full of despair, and the ambition he had pinned was gone. Hey. Ghostman Akin, right? You have good strength and good eyesight. You are qualified to board our ship. Do you want to join us? Zoro is quite satisfied with this battle. Jin Ren is also a tough fighter who can fight head-on. He is not a speed-oriented fighter like Crow, so even a fight is not fun. You just massacred our pirate group and killed my captain, and you actually want me to join you? Ghostman agent said angrily, pirates also have to be moral. In this case, are you ready to die? The ambition I see in your eyes ends today. Zoro didn't try to persuade him anymore. He also admired such tough men. He slowly tied up his turban, biting the word, Wado, on his mouth, showing a serious and focused expression. He will use his strongest moves to send this Ghostman Jin on his way. The secret of 3 sword styles, 3,000 worlds. What's so scary about death? Ghost fight spiral iron turn. The fearless Ghost Akin also turned his iron ball crutches and collided with the pirate hunter Zoro's spinning 3 sword style at high speed. The two of them passed each other in an instant and stood in each other's position. Zoro's beast-like eyes showed a smile, and he confidently took the sword from his mouth without looking back, and sheathed it gracefully. The Ghostman agent in the rear fell down with a pale face, staining the ground with blood. A very complete loss. On the other side, the barrier mecha on Dai Dai had dissipated, and with his upper body naked, in front of the orange-haired female thief, he pulled out the 3rd-generation ghost sword, suddenly stabbed it into Krieg's heart, and used this East Blue Overlord sacrificial knife. East Blue Overlord Krieg has officially come to an end. Dai Dai casually threw Krieg's body out, and then looked at the orange-haired girl who was already sitting softly on the ground. Are you stealing my trophy? Little girl. Dai Dai smiled at Nami covered in blood. In Nami's eyes, he was like a devil's smile, 10 times more terrifying than a dragon. Ship. 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 Captain, I brought my treasure and prepared to join you. Nami felt that she was so frightened by this man's momentum and murderous intent that she couldn't stand up, and her pants were soaked through. But in order to save her life, she quickly told a lie. Oh, then I will accept you. And you remember, on my ship, betrayal is death. My words are ironclad. If you dare to escape, I will slaughter your hometown. Dai Dai showed a cruel smile again, frightening Nami's face to the point of being completely pale and panicked. She seemed to have offended a demonic pirate who was more terrifying than the fishman dragon. Ming. Understand. Nami replied in fear. If the evil dragon knew that she had joined another pirate group, would the evil dragon take revenge on the village? What should I do? She seemed unable to offend these 2 terrifying pirates, which plunged Nami into deep despair. But the next moment, she heard the same words as Tinlai. Captain Dai Dai, after killing Krieg, why don't you also kill the dragon pirates who have the highest bounty on East Blue? Beiji Crow also walked over covered in blood. He ignored the orange-haired female thief and asked Dai Dai. You might want to ask our new navigator about this. Dai Dai looked at Nami who was lying on the ground jokingly, and showed a meaningful smile. She's the new voyager. Crow frowned and looked at the orange-haired female thief with cold eyes. She was too weak and could not meet his standards at all. Could it be that Dai Dai likes this type? Yes, I am a new sailor, and my sailing skills are very good. I have been learning sailing for 10 years. And I think we must destroy the dragon pirates so that our Big Daddy pirates can become a powerful force in the entire East Blue. Nami immediately abandoned all fear at this moment and said quickly, wishing he could lead the Big Daddy pirates to fight against the dragon pirates immediately. Nami, your hometown is Kokoa village. But the next second, Dai Dai suddenly said something, which made Nami's face turn pale again. Captain. I'm not. Nami began to become incoherent. Her identity was actually exposed because she never said her name. How did Dai know? She felt Crow's murderous intent, and she felt that she was really dead this time. How unwilling. Are you really going to die? The dragon pirates are the first gift I give you on board the ship. If you betray me in the future, I have already mentioned the consequences. The atmosphere changed again. Dai picked up the girl with short orange hair and tore open her sleeves, revealing the tattoo of the dragon pirates. Captain Dai. If you can destroy the dragon pirates and liberate Kokoa village, I will be your crew member for the rest of my life. Nami quickly covered the shameful tattoo on her shoulder and looked at Dai with red eyes. She didn't know why Dai knew her identity, but now she had no choice. Captain Dai, you must have fallen in love with this thief, right? Are you planning to be a hero to save the beauty? How boring. Crow snorted, left without looking back, and continued to kill the pirates who had seized the ship and escaped. These were the spoils of the Big Daddy pirates. Even if it is burned, these pirates will not drive away. Hearing Crow's words, Nami was also stunned for a moment, and slowly looked at Dai. She was sure that this was the first time she saw Dai. Could it be that he really fell in love with her? Dai's eyes also met Nami's, and Nami lowered her head in fear. You are not attractive at all now. Go search for treasures, this is your strength. Dai said calmly, and then he also attacked the many pirate ships in Deborah Port. He had the same idea as Crow. Even if he didn't want these pirate ships, he didn't want to be driven away by these pirates. Damn it. What does it mean to be unattractive? Don't think that just because you are more handsome and stronger, you can pull me like this. Sooner or later one day you will bow down under my bikini. Nami said angrily, but remembering the cruelty of this murderous god, she spoke softer and quieter, and finally she just cursed silently in her heart. However, the captain was right. He was the best at searching for treasures, so why not hide some of them privately? Nami even looked at the body of Krieg, the overlord of the East Blue. There was a bounty of 17 million. Really want. If I can redeem it, I will be closer to my goal of 100 million. At the same time, he was full of expectations for Dai, hoping that he would defeat the evil dragon and not be killed by the evil dragon, otherwise she and the village would be buried with him. A large number of pirates who could not escape were kneeling down to beg for mercy. Dai ordered them to throw these corpses into the sea, and the blood had already attracted some sea beasts. The surrendered pirates of the Krieg pirate group fearfully threw the corpses of their former companions into the sea to feed the fish and sea beasts. This made them decide that if they could survive this time, they would never be pirates again and go back to their hometown to farm and hunt. The pirate ships that had just escaped from the sea were sunk by Ed Drago with sonic cannons. After sinking 7 or 8 ships, no pirates finally dared to escape again. They all returned to the port of Dubai Island and surrendered, and were then rushed by Dai to clean up the corpses and clean the port. The treasures and important supplies of these pirate ships, as well as the treasures of Deborah Island, were moved to the dreadnought battleship Sabre. That's right, the Big Daddy pirates are changing ships again. The dreadnought battleship Sabre, a huge sailing ship with 3 decks and a panther-shaped bow, is the unlucky ship that was cut in 2 by Mahawk in the original book. However, its record is also good. At least it passed through Upside Down Mountain and entered the Grand Line. It was chased from the Grand Line by Hawkeye, and it forcibly escaped from the Comm Belt back to East Blue. Finally, it was killed by the World near the sea restaurant Barati. The greatest swordsman cut him down. Just when Dai wanted to burn all these pirate ships, he didn't expect that someone would come to cooperate so soon. Dubai Island, the former base camp of the Krieg pirates. The person in charge of East Blue, the underground Dark Emperor and King of Shipping, actually had the audacity to land on the hell-like Deborah Island, saying that he would eat the 20 or 30 pirate ships of the Krieg pirates. Moreover, some of the underworld gangsters Krieg knows must be introduced to Dai, and he will take over these relationships. They have already acquiesced that Dai will become the new overlord of East Blue. Therefore, Dai obtained the phone numbers of several leaders of East Blue, an underground world force. From now on, whether buying weapons, buying intelligence, warehousing goods, shipping goods, or sending various rare things to auction, there will be someone to take care of them. At this time, Dai discovered that the underground emperor's huge power had penetrated into the underworld forces and big pirates around the world. And Dai has not considered establishing his power in East Blue. After all, this is the hometown of marine hero Garp. Want to ask why East Blue is the weakest sea? Just ask Garp's Iron Fist. Therefore, Dai Dai readily sold these pirate ships, and even cashed in many of the treasures of the Krieg pirates, and bought some seastone equipment from these underground vampires. This is so damn dark. A pair of seastone handcuffs actually costs more than 1 million belly, which is comparable to the price of a good sharp knife. But it is shipped all over the world from New World, so it is worth the price. And it's still priceless, based on the principle that money is an external possession. Dai Dai directly used Krieg's treasure to buy out the few seastone weapons and seastone torture instruments in the hands of these East Blue leaders. In the end, Dai Dai did not kill all these pirates, but just disbanded the Krieg pirates on the spot and expelled them all. In fact, Crow said that he wanted to kill them all, and a leader of the East Blue underground force even suggested that they could all be used as slaves and sold to them at a low price. However, Dai Dai did not lose this little bit of humanity in the end, because he saw the eyes that longed for life among these pirates. Dai Dai didn't know whether this decision was right or wrong. Crow and Edrag may have sneered, but Zoro and Nami quite agreed with Dai Duo's approach. The overlord of the East Blue, the Krieg pirates, was destroyed, causing dozens of islands near Dubai Island to fall into a frenzy. The big pirate group that had been oppressing them was finally wiped out. Although it was not Marine who was killed, but another pirate group. Extra. Extra. The Big Daddy Pirates have destroyed the Krieg Pirates, the overlord of East Blue. A newsboy shouted wildly on the street of Loguetown. This is a newspaper that focuses on East Blue news. They have a hidden line in Deb Island where the Krieg Pirates are located. Therefore, they immediately knew the inside information of the Krieg Pirates. Even the establishment of the Big Daddy Pirates was known to them earlier than Marine. Inside the Loguetown Marine branch, he actually did it? White Hunter Smoker said with a shocked look on his face. A few people attacked thousands of people. This kind of battle has not happened many times even in the Grand Line. And each one of them is a famous elite pirate group. A person with such courage is destined to be no simple person. Smoker thought of the Roger Pirates who came out of East Blue, and the Spade Pirates who left 2 years ago. The Firefist Ace actually joined the Whitebeard Pirates and became a famous pirate in the New World. I will never let you enter the Grand Line, Smoker said with firm eyes. A pirate with such great potential must not be allowed to grow up. Inside the headquarters of the underworld Bator family, Bartolomeo looked at the news a little reluctantly. Why did that bastard grow up so fast? Desire was both happy and confused. He was happy that Babaya survived and rose up successfully, but he was confused about whether he should go find him or not. Go. Desire, go back to Babaya, and it's up to you to resolve the grievances between Babaya and the Bato family. Granny Yu didn't expect that Dai Dai would grow so fast. In just a short period of time, he had already destroyed the East Blue Overlord. How terrifying this was, it made her worried. No. I won't come back to him in this way. Grandma, I want to go to sea. Desire did not agree to Yubaba's request, but chose to take a few sisters with him to form the Candy Pirates and go out to sea, just to follow in that person's footsteps. A huge 3-decker sailboat sailed on the sea, with the black pirate flag flapping. But there are not many people on board such a huge pirate ship. The only few boys are busy pulling sails, looking out, steering, and even cleaning and cooking. They didn't understand why Captain Dai Dai didn't find more pirates, but tortured them like this. On the top deck, Taibi Baloo, who has a bounty of 8 million, is covered in bandages, like a mummy. He has surrendered honestly. Even with a wound, he is still sent to work. Because of the injury, he can only do it clean. On the other hand, Ghostman Akin had a silent expression on his face. The huge wound on his chest had only been bandaged briefly and was even bleeding. At this moment, he seemed to be still confused and had not opened his mouth to join the Big Daddy Pirates. Perhaps he was missing Krieg, or perhaps he was waiting for Corporal Dai Daixian to bend over and recruit talents. I just saw that you had a bounty on your body and that you met the standards of a trainee crew member of my Big Daddy Pirates, so I took you too on board. Although I like to force others, I will also give you a chance to choose. Ghostman Agent, it is impossible to let you go. If you really don't want to join us, you can go to the stern of the ship and commit suicide by wiping your neck and jump into the sea yourself, lest we collect the bodies and dirty the deck. Dai Dai didn't give Ah Jin that much time for inner drama, and directly threw a dagger to Ah Jin to let him see clearly what kind of reality it was. Moreover, Dai Dai knew that the current agent, who had not experienced the defeat of the Grand Line, was just a brutal pirate who succumbed to power. He had no will of his own at all and would only pin his ambitions on the strong. Dai Dai didn't have time to engage in reformation now. After all, he still had to continue practicing. It would be a great honor to waste a little time on subduing this defeated general. Seeing Dai Dai's unreasonable recruitment method made Nami next to her a little nervous. Because she didn't have a bounty on her body now, wouldn't that mean she wasn't even qualified to be a trainee crew member? Are you really going to warm Dai's bed? However, it seems that the captain and Zoro don't have bounties on their heads either. Thinking of this, Nami felt a little relieved. On the other hand, Beiji Crow silently watched Dai Dai's tactics of recruiting people. Dai Dai was very patient when he conquered Ed Drago before. Why are you asking this ghost man Jin to wipe your neck now? They really didn't give any steps or face. I didn't expect Captain Krieg to be so weak. He actually fell into the East Blue and didn't even realize his ambition to enter the Grand Line. So, can you show me your full strength? I don't want the captain whose ambition I have pinned on to fall on the road again. The ghost man Ajin looked at the dagger on the ground, his eyes began to recover, and he slowly raised his head to look at Dai Dai. He hadn't realized his ambition yet, and he didn't want to die yet. However, he still found a reason and a step for himself. He was only willing to surrender to the strong. Moreover, he really doesn't want to betray a second time. Before Krieg died, he was indeed loyal, but after Krieg died, the ambition he had placed on him disappeared, which made him unable to accept it for a while. He was constantly torn between revenge and surrender and survival. Now Dai Dai directly used a dagger to make him see the reality clearly. It turned out that he really didn't want to die. He doesn't have the courage to commit suicide. Putting your ambition on the captain? Then you must also be ambitious and capable of catching up with me. Otherwise, people who are too weak cannot always follow me. Barrier Heavenly Sword. Split Huashan Mountain with force. Dai Dai looked at Jin, raised his right hand slightly, and a 40-meter-long transparent barrier sword appeared instantly, slashing hard on the sea, immediately cutting out hundreds of meters of ravines and causing countless waves to explode. What do you think of this kind of strength? Dai Dai's move stunned both Zoro and Crow. They had never seen this move before. Is this the latest move that Dai Dai has developed in the past 2 days? However, this is too pretentious. Don't pretend to be so relaxed, okay? Don't think we haven't seen you cross your fingers for a long time. You must have been accumulating strength for several seconds. Indeed, no pirate ship can withstand the power of this sword. And Nami's eyes were already shining after seeing it. The 40-meter sword was very long, cool and shocking. She felt that Kokoa village was really saved. Dai Dai can definitely defeat the evil dragon. You are really much better than Krieg. When I heard that the Big Daddy pirates dared to attack the Krieg pirates with just a few people, I already admired you a little and wanted to meet you. Now your powerful strength is as shocking as your courage and courage. Please don't fail on your way to conquering the Grand Line, my new captain. The ghost man Ajin looked at Dai Dai's terrifying destructive power, his pupils trembled, then he put his hands on the ground and bowed his head in surrender. This man is stronger than Krieg. When he fought Krieg before, he didn't even show his full strength. He is really more suitable to pin his own ambitions. Zoro next to him was also speechless. This ghost man Ajin, who was not a pirate before and had no betrayal, why did he surrender to Dai Dai so quickly now? Even Crow couldn't understand it. Could it be that Ajin's previous loyalty was just an act? Shocked by Dai Dai's cold-blooded life threat and terrifying strength, he was instantly exposed and fell to his knees on the spot. Then don't die on this road. I don't need weak people. When Dai Dai heard that the ghost man Ajin had surrendered, he did not continue to assume a superior posture, but leaned over to pull him up and tidy up his bandages. His attitude towards the enemy and the crew was completely changed. I will, Captain. Seeing Dai Dai, who had a ruthless face before, now smiling and helping himself up, Jin felt a little flattered, and even a little touched. If Usopp were here, he would definitely sigh. This combination of stick and carrot is too smooth. Crow was conquered in this way before. After Ajin surrendered, he did not provoke or speak harsh words to Dai Dui like Crow and Ed Drago, otherwise he would face the punch full of armament hockey again. Ghost Man Akin is the same as Pirate Hunter Zoro. Once he joins, he will unconditionally trust the captain and resolutely execute any order, regardless of right or wrong. Nami, take the helm, go to Kokoa village. Dai Dai ordered to the navigator Nami. He felt that the Krieg pirates, the overlord of East Blue, had been destroyed this time, and the Big Daddy pirates must have entered Marine's sight. They need to leave East Blue and enter the Grand Line as soon as possible, otherwise they will be in great danger if they are targeted by Marine. Yes, Captain. Nami shouted excitedly. She has finally waited for this day. She will take her powerful partners back to destroy the dragon pirates and liberate her hometown. 3 days later, on board the dreadnought battleship Saber, pirate hunter Zoro, Beiji Crow, and Ghost Akin are teaming up to besiege Deity, while Ed Drago is firing a sonic cannon on the side to provide long-range help. Dai, who deliberately did not use the barrier fruit, continued to practice his observation hockey and armament hockey in this siege dilemma, and received more than a dozen knives and several cannons for this. They continued to make breakthroughs in crisis after crisis, especially the two guys Crow and Ed Drago, but they didn't hold back at all and killed them everywhere. But it was also this kind of real training that made Dai significantly improve. In the watchtower on the huge mast, the little thief cat Nami is observing the course. At this time, she is the navigator and lookout of the Big Daddy pirates. The Cat brothers Butch and Sam are sailors, responsible for pulling and controlling the sails of this big ship. Hypnosis Master Zangao, a dancer, also serves as the helmsman. All three of them must obey Nami's command and control the direction of the big ship. The swordsman Golas was arranged to go to the kitchen. He reluctantly put down the murderous sword, picked up the kitchen knife and started cutting vegetables, and also acted as the chef. Taibi Baloo became the lowest status crew member, responsible for doing chores, helping out, and cleaning. These bounty prisoners should have been officers in their respective pirate groups. In the Big Daddy pirate group, they were the lowest trainee crew members, doing the same things as pirates. But they didn't dare to resist and could only bear it silently because the captain of this ship was too powerful. Watching Dai fight against 4 cadres alone, they knew how strong this captain was, because he had not yet used his invincible barrier fruit ability. Captain Dai is now practicing the legendary hockey. Hearing the captain say that this is the entrance ticket to the new world, these little pirates who have never even been to the Grand Line are unaware of its power. They felt as if they were hooked up with a big shot, and Captain Dai was a big shot with big dreams. For this reason, their restless hearts finally had a sense of belonging to this pirate group. Grand Line Alabasta Rain Feast. Miss All Sunday, the vice president of Baroque Works, looked at the latest information about East Blue in her hand. Finally found you, Big Daddy Babaya. Nico Robin looked at the intelligence of the Big Daddy pirates who destroyed the Krieg pirates, the overlord of East Blue. Among them, Sonic Ed Drago, who caused the loss of contact and death of Mr. 11, had been disbanded from his own pirate group and joined Big Daddy pirates. Nico Robin was able to quickly analyze the reason, and looking at the latest bounty order from Daddy Babaya, she knew that the young man opposite the phone bug that day was the murderous captain of the Big Daddy pirates. The murderer in the reward order was standing in a mountain of corpses, covered in blood, especially his devil-like smile, which made people tremble with fear. Big Daddy Daddy Babaya, captain of the Big Daddy pirates, has a bounty of 20 million Baileys, life or death. One person killed 1 or 2,000 members of the Krieg pirates. It was so murderous. Nico Robin feels that 20 million Baileys is definitely too low, but after all, it is the weakest sea, East Blue. The first bounty was given to the highest point of East Blue. It should be regarded as Marine giving the highest attention to Dai. Now she just wonders why this person from East Blue knows her identity and O'Hara's affairs. With your murderous nature, you should be entering the Grand Line soon. Nico Robin doesn't have much affection for cruel pirates like Dai. She just wants to find out the source of Dai's intelligence. It's best to kill him to prevent her and Crocodile's identities from being exposed. After all, Alabasta's plan to steal the country is still in progress, and the secrets of Baroque Works cannot be exposed so soon. She is already preparing to take people to Whiskey Peak, the entrance island of the Grand Line, to intercept the threat of the Big Daddy pirates. Because it involved some information about O'Hara, she had no intention of reporting this matter to Crocodile. In East Blue, the latest bounty order for the Big Daddy pirates is released. Making some pirate groups fearful, this is a powerful pirate group composed entirely of pirate elites. Big Daddy Daddy Babaya, with a bounty of 20 million Belly. Pirate Hunter Roranoa Zoro, with a bounty of 18 million Baileys. 100 Strategies Crow, with a bounty of 17 million Baileys. Soundwave Ed Drago, with a bounty of 17 million Baileys. Fallen Swordsman Gorath, 11 million Baileys. Hypnosis Master Praise, 10 million Baileys. Cat Brothers Flower Madara Cat Butch, Siamese Cat Sam, a total of 8 million Baileys. However, the original bounty of 12 million Baileys, Ghost Akin, and Iron Walbaloo, with 8 million Baileys, were not yet known to have joined the Big Daddy pirates, so the first update of the bounty order did not involve them. The bounties of Zhangao, the Catman brothers, and Goras all increased to 1 million Baileys, and it seemed that they did not have many dazzling achievements. Crow and Adelaide both had the same bounty, which made them unhappy with each other, especially Adelaide. He only got an increase of 500,000 Baileys, while even Crow got an increase of 1 million. And Crow also had a gloomy face. He had been hiding for 2 years, and as soon as he came out, he destroyed the East Blue Overlord, and he actually gained this little. Is this looking down on him, Crow? Haha. Are number 3 and number 4 the same? Then do you want to fight again and arrange your positions? Zoro, the green algae head, laughed a little proudly. He finally got his bounty order, and for the first time, he was higher than the 2 former pirate captains, Crow and Edrago. From now on, this number 2 position should not be squeezed and ridiculed by Crow, a bastard, with bounties. He is truly the second in command. In fact, Dai himself was not satisfied with this bounty. His initial bounty was actually much lower than that of Straw Hat Luffy. Straw Hat Luffy killed East Blue's strongest dragon pirates before offering his first bounty. The initial bounty was 30 million Baileys, which shocked many people. But there is no way. The reputation of the Big Daddy Pirates for killing the Krieg Pirates, the Overlord of East Blue, has spread too quickly. If he waits until he kills the Dragon Pirates, the bounty will be even higher. And Nami was already very excited. Dai's bounty was already the same as that of the Dragon. And with so many powerful crew members, the success rate of overthrowing the Dragon Pirates has exceeded 60%. Dai, I can't wait to defeat the Dragon Pirates. I'm very dissatisfied with the bounty this time. Beiji Crow's gold-framed glasses reflected a dangerous white light. He would never give up his opponent to the green algae head again. He was actually ridiculed by a brat with half a brain and a muscle. I'm very angry right now. What kind of level is the evil dragon? How dare you get the same bounty as me? Dai gave an order with his upper body naked, and even the second-in-command Zoro was rushed to row the boat to speed up and rush to Kokoa village at full speed. Among the pirates in East Blue, Dai, I'm the boss. East Blue Orangetown. Buggy, the captain of the Buggy Pirates, looked at the emergence of the Big Daddy Pirates, especially the Big Daddy Pirates' cadres whose bounties were higher than his, with a fearful expression on his face. Captain Buggy, the pirate ships of the Big Daddy Pirates seem to be heading in our direction. Do we want to make a strategic retreat? Acrobat Kabaji said. He also serves as the chief of staff of the Buggy Pirates. When he saw the luxurious lineup of the Big Daddy Pirates, he felt a little weak and could not even stand on his unicycle. They actually defeated the Krieg Pirates, the Overlord of the East Blue, and they still had a terrifying record of attacking 5,000 people with just 8 people. Captain, I also think we should go to other islands to explore the scenery. After all, staying on one island all the time would be a bit boring. The animal trainer Mochi knew that Buggy had a good reputation, so he quickly changed his excuse and persuaded him in a persuasive way. Yes. We are not afraid of the Big Daddy Pirates, we just happen to be plundering other islands to replenish supplies. Hurry up. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and pack your things and go sailing. Haven't you seen that Li Ji is starving and thin? Buggy the Clown immediately yelled. These guys are so ignorant, don't they know that time is money and money is my life? Following Buggy's order, the Buggy Pirates' acrobatic troupe immediately gathered their things and set sail, running very fast for fear of being blocked by Big Daddy and then being slaughtered. On the other hand, Dai did think about going to Orangetown to capture Buggy the Clown. However, when they arrived at Orangetown, the Buggy Pirates were already empty, so Dai and the others rushed directly towards the Dragon Pirates in Kokoa village. Buggy the Clown's conqueror's luck is really incredible. Dai thought of Buggy like Xiaoqiang, who could turn danger into good fortune every time and get all kinds of benefits. From the little pirate to the Shichibukai to the 4 emperors, it can only be described as a legend. Inside the Loguetown Marine branch, Smoker repeatedly applied to his superiors to leave the station to arrest the Big Daddy Pirates. However, they were all rejected, and he was severely warned to be calm and ordered to guard the important strategic location of Loguetown. This is the entrance to East Blue's Grand Line. Pirate groups may land every day. The safety of people's lives and property is very important. Smoker could only wait until the Big Daddy Pirates landed in Loguetown before he could take down Daiduo. Kokoa Village Evil Dragon Territory. The Evil Dragon looked at these bounty orders. He was a little surprised that the Big Daddy Pirates actually destroyed the Krieg Pirates. But he just thinks that Krieg is a real waste, so he will be killed easily. He believes that the Fishmen race is the strongest race. Brother Evil Dragon. It's time to collect protection fees again this month. The kissing fishman Ju walked in and said to the evil dragon that in recent years, they have collected a large amount of protection fees from more than 20 nearby villages for them to eat, drink and have fun. This is the happiest time in their lives. Compared to the dark and lowly life in Fishman Street, they prefer to enjoy the sunshine and the pleasure of enslaving humans in this remote sea area of East Blue. On the Fishmen Island, they endure the fear of being oppressed every day. Here, they unleash their power to the fullest, allowing humans to experience the feeling of being oppressed. Here, they truly live with dignity. Then take back all the money. Don't lose even a penny. If you encounter humans who resist and have no money, kill them directly. The evil dragon smiled sinisterly. On the Fishmen Island and Sabodi Archipelago, he was submissive, but in the waters of East Blue Kokoa village, he was the only emperor of the evil dragon empire. Clear. A group of Murloc boys, in teams of 3, went to more than 20 villages to collect protection fees. Even 3 fishmen can make a village so scared that they hand over their money. The dragon pirates, with less than 100 fishmen, were enough to suppress more than 20 human villages. These humans were as cowardly and timid as livestock. Previously, the Commodore and commander of the 77th branch, Brin, actually dared to lead a team to attack the dragon pirates privately, but was killed by Arlong and his entire army was wiped out and his body was buried in the sea. This also made the evil dragon become more arrogant, thinking that the Marine Commodore was nothing more than that. He may not be aware that Marine is divided into a headquarters and a branch. The level difference between the headquarters and the branch is 3 levels. For example, a branch colonel is only equivalent to a captain in the headquarters. The Commodore of Brin's branch is equivalent to the strength of the major of the main branch. Even Dai didn't understand these military ranks when he crossed over. He thought that the branch colonel was only 1 level lower than the headquarters colonel. Unexpectedly, he was 3 levels lower. Branch colonels like Colonel Monka and Colonel Mouse are equivalent to captains in the headquarters. During the Summit War, they were among the lowest level minions. The highest military rank of the 4 Seas branch is Branch Commodore, and most of the leaders of the Grand Line and New World fortresses are elites from the naval headquarters. The Rear Admiral and Vice Admiral of the Marine Fortress are actually not much different from the Rear Admiral and Vice Admiral of the main headquarters. They are just the main Marine who has been sent out. According to the importance of the location of the Marine Fortress, they are on the same level or at most 1 level different. Class. Smoker, a disciple of Zephyr, was originally a colonel of the naval headquarters like Hina. However, because he had a bad temper and often disobeyed his superior's orders, he was demoted 3 or 4 levels in a row and became a colonel of the Loguetown branch. Of course, the location of Loguetown is also very important. It may be that the boss is deliberately trying to sharpen Smoker's temperament. Later, Smoker was promoted faster than Hina. When Smoker became the Vice Admiral of the headquarters, Hina was still the Rear Admiral of the headquarters. In the original work, Captain Fenbuddy can enter the East Blue from the Grand Line to pursue the defeated Krieg pirates and capture the Ghost Akin alive, which shows his strength. His rank of captain in his headquarters is actually on the same level as Colonel Menka and Colonel Mouse, and his personal strength is even stronger. With the monthly protection fees paid by the evil Dragon Empire, more than 20 villages have become stained with blood. Under the rule of the evil dragon, residents have to spend money to buy their lives every month, 100,000 for adults and 50,000 for children. If they cannot pay, they will be brutally shot. This amount of money has completely crushed the poor families. Those who could not escape from this sea area have been killed by the fishmen. The fishmen of the dragon pirates have exerted the oppression they suffered on the Fishmen Island tenfold and 100-fold on the civilians in the waters of Kokoa village. From the oppressed role to the perpetrators, they will do more cruel things, become more violent, and become even more inhumane. This is hatred between 2 races. When the Big Daddy Pirates' dreadnought battleship Saber entered the waters of Kokoa village, they could also see smoke rising from some small islands. Those were tragedies in which people were killed and their houses burned down because they could not pay the protection fee. Seeing these scenes, even Dai, who was incompatible with this world, couldn't help but feel a little angry. Who is not a loyalist? Those who are not of my race, kill. When the 3-story dreadnought battleship Saber entered the waters of Kokoa village, it quickly attracted the attention of some fishmen who were collecting protection fees. At first, they thought it was some blind pirate group that dared to break into the territory of the dragon pirates. But when they saw the black pirate flag of the Big Daddy Pirates, even the fishmen who were doing whatever they wanted in this sea area couldn't help but change their expressions. This is the Great East Blue Pirate who has the same bounty as the Dragon Brother. And how long did it take for the Big Daddy pirates to kill the Krieg pirates, the overlord of East Blue? Now that we have entered their territory so quickly, we don't need to think about it to know that the other party must have bad intentions. However, the fishmen who were accustomed to being domineering in the waters of Kokoa village jumped into the sea without fear and angrily tried to pierce the pirate ship of the Big Daddy pirates. Die, you landlubber, there should be nothing you can do now. Then let me, the second in command, reluctantly take action to kill them. Zoro grinned, quickly pulled out the Ryokai swordsman Snow and Wajo, and jumped into the sea. His naval combat ability is not weak, and he can kill a few fishmen with no problem at all. Soon, 3 handfuls of blood appeared on the sea. Nami breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Zoro return to the water. She knew how powerful the fishmen were in the sea. This also let Dai know the huge threat posed by the fishmen to pirate ships. Accelerate. Go to Kokoa village with all your strength. Dai has no intention of saving these islands and villages. They have to kill the evil dragon with lightning speed. Otherwise, if these fishmen are alerted, if they all enter the sea, Dai will not be able to do anything to them. And Nami's face showed a little worry. This time she had gone all out and placed all her hopes on Dai. If Dai could not solve the evil dragon, then their village would also suffer crazy revenge from the dragon pirates. After Zoro returns to the boat, he must start rowing hard like Captain Dai. Increase the speed of the dreadnought battleship Saber again. Inside the dragon's territory. The fishman boy who was collecting protection fees from a nearby village has returned to their paradise with a smile on his face. Brother Evil Dragon. We are back. Except for the few paupers and idiots we killed, we have recovered all the protection money. A fishman boy happily reported to Evil Dragon Wade that this comfortable life was hundreds of times better than the life in Fishman Street. After all, the pirate groups that can reach the Sabodi archipelago are already powerful pirate groups. When they pass by the Fishmen Island, they always plunder. This results in fishmen or mermaids being secretly abducted every month. Even if the Fishmen Island has the flag of Whitebeard Newgate and is protected by Whitebeard, it cannot completely protect the Fishmen Island. Because many pirate groups from all over the world have never seen how powerful Whitebeard is, they naturally don't have much fear in their hearts, so they will continue to carry out their pirate plundering business. Ha ha ha. That's right. Jin, you are getting better and better. You should be more decisive when dealing with these despicable humans. Without money, you will lose your life. The evil dragon laughed loudly. This kind of random trampling on human life is really a relief. I will. Brother Dragon. The fishman Jin said excitedly that if the people collecting protection fees had not been arranged, he would have wanted to collect a few more villages and kill a few more humans. It's not good. Brother Dragon. The Big Daddy pirates are coming. A fishman guy rushed in crazily, shouting at the top of his lungs, his eyes filled with fear. The Big Daddy pirates started killing people as soon as they landed. The Fishman brothers at the port of Kokoa village had killed more than a dozen people in an instant, which was already more than half of the fishmen left behind. The Dragon Pirates, which has less than 100 members, happened to send 60 or 70 people out to various villages today to collect protection fees. Unexpectedly, the Big Daddy pirates would attack their base camp at this weak time. What? How dare this bastard Dai come to trouble me? The evil dragon roared in shock, and immediately picked up his weapon, the saw blade Feng Zan, and led the cadres to kill him. Just the next second, a huge blue-white sonic laser cannon blasted into the headquarters building of the evil dragon territory. Hateful. This light wave reminded the evil dragon of the terror of Kizaru Perusalino, and the scene of being instantly killed by Kizaru was still vivid in his mind. However, this shameful history made him even more angry. Kill them for lousy. The evil dragon gritted its teeth and rushed out with red eyes. A big gap was opened in the territory of his evil dragon empire. It was simply unforgivable. You don't need to come out. We're coming in. Dai carried a fishman in with a murderous look on his face, then broke its neck and threw it at the evil dragon. Basaro. Dai. Lousy is going to kill you. Arlong saw his tribesmen being killed by Dai, and he immediately became furious and raised his big saw blade, Zan Feng, to chop at Dai. Kill them. Dai gave the order with a grin, and Zoro and Crow immediately found their opponents. 9 million bellies rubbish. Crow faced the cartilaginous fishman Kroby, and did not take this fishman seriously at all. However, on the surface, this guy was indeed the fishman pirate with the second highest bounty among the dragon pirates. 6 swordsmen. Zoro, a 3-sword swordsman, was a little excited to see the octopus fishman Xiaohachi holding 6 swords. This was the first time he saw this rare 6-sword swordsman, and he immediately wanted to see it. Power. Therefore, he was too lazy to compete with Crow for Crow Obi, who had the second highest bounty. When the kissing fishman Ahju met, he fired a powerful water cannon at the Big Daddy pirates, causing Sonic Edrag to spray back angrily. He has always been the only one to criticize others, how could he let others criticize him? And the one opposite is just a garbage fishman with a bounty of 5.5 million belly, he must be killed today. Seeing that the big guys all had their own opponents, Ghostman Akin had no choice but to kill the remaining 5 or 6 fishmen with Taibi Baloo and Golas. And Hypnosis Master Zango and the Catman brothers are guarding the pirate ship Dreadnought Battleship Saber to prevent the ship from being destroyed by the Murlocs who come back one after another to collect protection fees. Seeing the full-scale war between the Big Daddy pirates and the Dragon pirates, Nami knew that she couldn't help, so she ran home, took her sister Nokigao, and organized the villagers to fight against the Dragon pirates. Even if they are dealing with those fishmen who are coming back one after another, they still have to make a contribution. With her call and the help of the village policeman Aegean, the villagers of Kokoa village finally took up arms. Half of them went to the port and the other half to the Dragon territory to help the Big Daddy pirates overthrow the Dragon pirates. Clang. There was a huge sound, and Dai Dai's barrier easily blocked the evil dragon's big saw blade, Zon Feng. Scum. Is this the power of the fishmen you are proud of? Dai Dai looked at the evil dragon with a sneer, swung it away, and immediately slashed at the evil dragon with the 3rd-generation ghost in his hand. HMPH. We fishmen are born with arm strength 10 times stronger than humans. We are the noblest race. The evil dragon saw that Dai Dai was a difficult demon fruit power, so he immediately led him to the sea. As long as he was at sea, he could easily kill this power user. Huh. Then what kind of rubbish nobles do you think the celestial dragons are? How do they compare with you, a noble fishman? Barrier Death Dual Cage. Dai Dai crossed the index and middle fingers of his left hand and drew a frame. A huge rectangular barrier suddenly appeared around him, trapping him in the evil dragon in the middle, completely cutting off the evil dragon's escape. What? You actually dare to scold celestial dragons? The evil dragon looked at Dai Dai in disbelief, and even felt a hint of admiration in his heart. However, he quickly annihilated this emotion. Every human being is his enemy. The evil dragon still didn't believe in the evil and tried his best to hack at the transparent barrier walls created by Dai Dui. In the end, he used too much force and broke a tooth of the big saw blade Zon Feng. It seems I have to kill you to break this bullshit prison. The evil dragon also reacted quickly. He knew that he could not break this barrier. He once followed the Sun Pirates and encountered many seemingly unsolvable demon fruit powers, but in the end he fell into the hands of their fishmen. Superior. Yes. Killing me can indeed break the death dual cage. However, today you either die or you perish. A red light flashed in Dai Dai's eyes, and he killed him with the 3rd-generation ghost. Today he will kill this fishman. Even if Jinbei, the hero of the sea, comes, it will be useless. Arrogant brat. Then I will let you know the terror of our sawtooth shark people. The evil dragon smiled ferociously, and then raised the big saw blade, Zon Feng, which had a broken tooth, and slashed at it. The huge force caused the big saw blade to make a large arc. Then let me see it. Scumbag fishman. Basic skills, weapons, and divine avoidance. Dai Dai suddenly accelerated and then suddenly paused, leaving a huge hole in the ground. Stones flew everywhere in an instant, and 3rd-generation ghost struck with terrifying force from bottom to top, creating a curved arc. The evil dragon held up a big saw blade in both hands, jumped up high, and wanted to use the power of its dive to split Dai Dai, the bastard, into 2 pieces. Clang. Peefed. The collision between Dai Dai and the dragon is certainly not as terrifying as Roger and Whitebeard Newgate in One Piece, nor is it as terrifying as Conqueror's intertwined airborne stalemate. Their contact was only for a moment, and the big saw blade Zanfeng was cut off by the 3rd-generation Kitetsu that was entangled with armament hockey. The terrifying power was on the dragon's body, from the abdomen to the dragon's chin, and also hit him. His serrated nose was chopped off. How powerful the dragon's dive is, the damage it takes now is doubled. Boom. The evil dragon was violently smashed into the transparent barrier, causing a second serious injury. This explosive scene made Xiao Hachi and Krobi widen their eyes. Their evil dragon brother was actually defeated. Nami and Nokigao, who had just arrived, covered their mouths and looked excitedly at Dai Dai, who had defeated the evil dragon. Their village can really be liberated from the evil dragon today. Come. Stand up. Let me see your noble head. Dai shouted with a grin on his face, and then dragged third-generation Kache over slowly, every step filled with a sense of oppression. UHA, how could you? Armament hockey. The evil dragon vomited blood, with a hint of fear in its eyes. Why is there armament hockey in a place like East Blue? Not many people in the Grand Line even know how to armament hockey. Only the strong pirates in the New World generally possess this terrifying power. You dare to be so arrogant in a place like East Blue, but in New World, you are trash. A noble race. You seem to have forgotten the origin of the sun tattoo on your chest. If you have the guts, go kill a celestial dragons. Dai stepped on the evil dragon's wound, causing him to grin in pain and turn pale, but there was endless anger in his eyes. The sun tattoo of the Sun Pirates was originally intended to cover up the hoof of the sky-soaring dragon that was branded on Boss Tiger when he was a slave. These crew members joined the Sun Pirates one after another because they admired Boss Tiger, who dared to resist the celestial dragons, and they also got this sun tattoo. Unforgivable. You humans will be overwhelmed by the wrath of the fishmen. Iron Kai Gong Shark Gear Car. The teeth in the evil dragon's mouth grew wildly, biting Dai and stepping on his body and feet, trying to completely destroy Dai's legs. Barrier diamond legs. Dai allowed the evil dragon to bite his feet. The terrifying bite force caused the dragon's shark teeth to fly away, causing countless sparks to fly. Death in madness is not a blessing. Dai raised the third-generation ghost high, his eyes full of murderous intent, and stabbed it into the evil dragon's head. He held the handle of the knife tightly with both hands and turned it counterclockwise 2.5 times, completely messing up his brain. The madly biting evil dragon also stopped for an instant and fell limply at Dai's feet. The evil dragon's blood shone on third-generation Ghost's body, and then was slowly absorbed, making everything look so strange. The dragon is dead. Nami and Nokigao screamed wildly and burst into tears. The murderer of their adoptive mother Belmere was finally dead, and Kokoa village was about to be liberated. The villagers also fought for the land with their heads and cried wildly, releasing the repression they had held over the years. No. Brother Dragon, Kruby, Ajiu and Zauba all looked at the killed dragon in fear. They didn't expect that the dragon would die so quickly. Aren't Dai and Wulong both pirates with a bounty of 20 million? Why is the gap in strength so big? Hey, don't worry, you are going to hell too. Crow smiled cruelly, turned into an afterimage in an instant, and launched an inhumane and silent dismemberment move against Crow Obi. He could spare Taibi Baloo once because he could recruit a younger brother, but these murlocs had already been ordered to kill by Dai Dui, so he would no longer show mercy. On the other side, Sonic Ed Drago was also merciless and directly destroyed the upper body of Aju. Even if some villagers wanted to exchange for the bounty, Marine probably wouldn't recognize it. Only Octopus Hachi didn't die on the spot. He was chopped off 6 times by Zoro, leaving a huge wound on his chest. He squirted blood and went into shock. He lay on the ground with a weak breath. Dai pulled out the third-generation ghost and picked up the corpse of the evil dragon. Your 20 million bounty is your limit, but my 20 million bounty is only because you, the highest bounty criminal in East Blue, limit Marine's judgment of me. Dai unlocked the death duel cage, threw the dragon's body in front of Nami and the others, and then walked to the port with a cold face, because there were still fishmen returning one after another. Today, he wants third-generation ghost to drink the blood of the fishmen again. Kokoa Village Port. The Hypnosis Master Zangao and the Catman brothers who were left behind were dealing with 6 murlocs who had just collected protection fees and returned home. The two sides started fighting as soon as they met. Despicable human. You dare to step into the territory of our dragon pirates. Go to hell. A murloc held a steel fork and charged towards the Hypnosis Master Zangao with a ferocious smile. They have been traversing this sea area for so many years and have never encountered any opponents. This time we still have to kill these humans and feed them to the sea beasts. Butch, Sam, turn into beasts. Hypnosis Master Zangao took out a sharp ring and instantly transformed Hypnosis, the Catman brothers, into muscular men, increasing their strength and speed several times, and no longer feeling fear. And Zangao himself also killed him. After all, he was once the captain of the Black Cat Pirates, and now the bounty is as high as 10 million Baileys. How could he not be able to defeat a few fishmen? Hanging out on Dai's boat, they had to exercise together, and then slowly grow and improve a little bit. While they were dealing with these fishmen, Half of the villagers in Kokoa village also rushed to the port with hoes, forks and other agricultural tools, asking them to help Nami's pirate crew kill these abominable fishmen. As more and more fishmen returned, they immediately started fighting with the three of Zangao and the villagers at the port. Then, there were actually several fishmen driving a huge cow, Sea Kings, to slam into the dreadnought battleship Saber of the Big Daddy pirates. This made Zangao feel a little frightened, but remembering the even more terrifying Big Daddy, he gritted his teeth and rushed towards the cow and sea beast. "Hey, hot sea monster. Look at me." Hypnosis Master Zangao looked at the cow sea beast with cold sweat on his head, facing it with the hypnosis ring in his hand, and activated his hypnosis skill. "Haha. What the hell is going on? Do you want to laugh us to death?" The fishman standing on the cow sea beast laughed and looked at Zangao as if he were a fool. But the next moment, the cow and sea beast's eyes actually turned in circles, and it fell straight into the sea. It was straighter than a horse's 5 whips. In an instant, it created a huge splash, throwing away all the fishmen above. "Moo! You loser! Wake up!" one of the fishmen said angrily, holding a steel fork and thrusting it crazily into the fresh and tender anus of the cow and sea beast. This unscrupulous operation instantly caused the cow and sea beast to experience what is called level 10 pain. Moo! The pain made the cow sea beast instantly go crazy with red eyes, and then slapped the fishman with its tail and turned it into blood mud, which turned into a ball of blood in the sea. The irrational cow sea beast continued to go crazy and crashed into the pirate ship of the Big Daddy pirates. "Oops. I can't control it, run away." The hypnosis master ran away, and his hypnosis ring had no effect at all on the irrational sea beast. The Catman brothers didn't dare to guard the ship when they saw this, so they turned around and ran away. Even if they were beaten violently by Captain Dai Dai, there was nothing they could do. After all, if they didn't run away now, they would be beaten to death by the sea beast. The villagers at the port also fled frantically. They were also afraid of death, but they saw a young man running quickly in the opposite direction. "Captain, we can't handle it." When Zangao and the Catman brothers saw Dai Dai rushing over, they shouted excitedly, as if they were seeing gods. "Get out of the way. Barrier clear Skyhammer." While Dai Dai was running, he extended a barrier hammer of more than 10 meters with his right hand, and smashed it hard at the already crazy cow and sea beast. This time, the eyes of the cow and sea beast were bulged out. It knocked him unconscious instantly and fell on the sea. The huge body once again exploded into a huge wave, and then after several ups and downs, it slowly floated on the sea. He knocked Moo Moo unconscious. He is the captain of the Big Daddy pirates. Why hasn't Brother Dragon come out to deal with them yet? Quick! Inform Brother Dragon quickly. These fishmen minions were shouting wildly, and they were a little nervous when facing the Big Daddy pirates who had the same bounty as the dragons. "No need to look for it. I'll send you to see him." Basic skills. 1 wears 5. Dai Dai pulled out the 3rd generation ghost and killed him. A Z-shaped sword flashed, and the 5 fishmen fell down with blood spurting out. Seeing Django and the Catman brothers excitedly watching their captain unleash Kamui, he killed the huge cow sea beast and 5 fishmen in 2 moves. U3. Double the amount of training from now on. Dai Dai glanced at Zangao and the others, and then looked at the boats or dorsal fins that gradually appeared on the sea. Some fishmen swam directly to collect protection fees. Yes, Captain, the 3 of them did not dare to contradict the Captain Dai Dai, and it was a great blessing that Dai Dai did not punish them for not watching the ship well. It seems that they also saw something strange at the port of Kokoa village. The fishmen actually waited until a dozen or 20 people gathered before rushing back together. How is this going? When these murlocs saw Bloodline and the fainted Moo Moo on the shore, they jumped onto the shore one by one angrily, intending to kill Dai Dai and all the villagers who had gathered. "Hey! Dai Dai, are you still eating alone?" Pirate hunter Zoro and Beiji Crow also walked from the dragon territory to the port. Why did they come over to the territory? Didn't Brother Dragon kill them? Some fishmen shouted, but a terrifying thought grew in their minds. Could it be that the evil dragon brother was killed? "Don't let them get away." Dai Dai said indifferently and quickly killed him again. Zoro and Crow also immediately drew their swords and rushed into the crowd of fish. In just a few dozen seconds, these 10 or 20 fishmen fell on the island without even a chance to escape back to the sea. "Come out and wash the floor." Dai Dai shouted to Zangao and the Catman brothers, who were so frightened that the 3 men immediately rushed over and dragged the fishman's body away, so as not to scare the fishmen behind and return. The villagers also looked at these brutal pirates with trepidation, but thinking that they were Nami's partners, they still gritted their teeth and helped move the corpses and carry water to wash the floor. After a while, the seawater by the port turned red. "How much is left?" Dai Duo asked Nami, who was running over, his tone not caring about these fishmen at all. "There are still 39 fishmen left to show up." Nami's eyes were red. Even though she had been crying excitedly for a long time, she quickly counted the fishmen corpses. She hated these fishmen to the core of her bones. She remembers every fishman clearly. "Zoro, pull this sea beast up and tie its nose. From now on, it will be our ship pulling sea beast." Dai Dai looked at the cow and sea beast that had been knocked unconscious, and shouted to Zoro. After all, Dai Dai was a landlubber now. He couldn't go into the sea and couldn't pull it back to the shore on the sea. Zoro did not refuse Dai Dai's order, and immediately jumped into the sea, pulled up the golden nose ring of the cow sea beast, and started moving. He actually pulled the huge sea beast back to the shore by himself. It can be seen that his the power of terror. Ghost Man Agent and the others immediately took out a big rope, tied a nose ring, and fixed the fainted cow and sea beast to the port to prevent it from waking up and diving away. "I thought I could have a rich dinner of sea beasts." Sonic Edrag smacked his lips and said emotionally. The loud voice made the comatose sea beast Moo's eyelids jump, as if he had heard some terrible truth. "Dai Dai. Another group of fishmen are back." Nami said loudly that now she was very concerned about whether all these fishmen could be destroyed. Otherwise, after the Big Daddy pirates left, these dozens of fishmen would be enough to destroy Kokoa village. "Then let them come up." Dai Dai and the others were sitting in the port, eating oranges casually. Nokagao even helped peel them and handed them to Dai Dai, his savior. The pirate flag of the Big Daddy pirates was given to Nami for fear of scaring away these fishmen. "Captain, leave these fishmen to us. We guarantee that none of them will escape." Kim Jin and the others immediately applied for a battle. He and Taibi Baloo were both newcomers and urgently needed a battle to prove that they had joined the Big Daddy pirates. "I'll wrap up the tale," Beiji Kella said calmly. "If Dai Dai did everything, what use would these crew members have? Run a fishman. Break a finger. Don't let me down." Dai Dai nodded slightly and agreed to their request, then swallowed the orange handed over by Nokagao in one gulp and glanced at Nami's sister. The two of them looked at each other inadvertently, which made Nokagao leave a little shyly. The other crew members immediately went out excitedly and quickly heard the sound of fighting, and then the sound of washing the ground. Then they repeated it 2 or 3 times, and finally killed all the fishmen. Even the seriously injured octopus Zauba was beaten to death by the villagers with sticks. Dai Dai didn't pay too much attention to this matter. After all, so what if Zauba knows Rayleigh? It's of no use at all. What's more, he stayed in the Dragon Pirates for 8 years and enjoyed so many years in Kokoa village. It was a cadre-level high-level enjoyment. Even if he didn't kill many humans, he lived a leisurely life eating human blood steamed buns. If he died, he would die. In this environment, no matter how kind he is, his hands are still stained with blood. A certain Oda was willing to clear his name, but Dai Dai didn't give him this chance. Moreover, Dai Dai did not believe that Rayleigh would help other new pirates. After all, not every pirate wore Roger's straw hat and received praise and instructions from red-haired Shanks. Ace was executed, but he didn't take any action, so don't expect him to take action for Xiao Ba. Someone asked, "Does Rayleigh know Ace's identity?" But Dai Dai wanted to say that when Ace was publicly executed, Sengoku had already revealed Ace's identity on the phone live broadcast, and there must be a live broadcast screen in Sabodi. Many supernovas were watching. Could Rayleigh see it? Moreover, Sabodi Archipelago is very close to naval headquarters. Kizaru went to Sabodi Archipelago from naval headquarters. After Straw Hat Crew beat Celestial Dragons, they didn't even have time to escape from Sabodi Archipelago. You will know how close it is. After the Summit War revealed Ace's identity, it continued for a long time. During this period, the impelled down fugitives from the Calm Belt arrived, and later the red-haired Shanks also arrived at the Summit War from the New World. Although Ace was dead by then, at least he was there. And the recent Pluton Rayleigh has not appeared. Supernova Trafalgar Law also watched most of the live broadcast on Sabodi Archipelago, and finally decided to join in the fun, and ended up driving a submarine to rescue Straw Hat Luffy. So, don't look forward to the little friendship between Zauba and Rayleigh. You just want Rayleigh to teach you Conqueror's hockey. You don't even dare to think like this if you were crazy. He didn't even teach Hockey a little bit about hockey, and he still wanted to learn hockey based on Hachi's little friendship. Go to hell. Today's Murloc Annihilation battle was a waste of time, but no danger was encountered. Dai Dai feels that there is indeed no pirate group in East Blue that can serve as his opponent, and he begins to think about entering the Grand Line as soon as possible. Now in East Blue, apart from Smoker in Loguetown, it is estimated that Zoro's master Koshiro can be the opponent. Koshiro's strength is probably not as good as Shimotsuki Yushimaru, but he should have the strength of a swordsman. I don't know if he has reached the level of a great swordsman. As for Iron Fist Garp, who was on vacation, and Shenlong, the leader of the Revolutionary Army Dolog, who had never seen his head and tail, he didn't even want to see them. Because that's not an opponent, that's a food delivery. At the big banquet in Kokoa village, Dai Dai and Crow seemed a bit out of place, and even Zoro and Ed Drago blended in. If Nami hadn't been given a farewell party to say goodbye to her hometown, Dai Duo might have already set off for the Grand Line after defeating the dragon pirates. After all, when the bounty reaches a certain level, it is very dangerous to stay in the world, because it is easy to provoke an encirclement and suppression by the naval headquarters, so entering the Grand Line is imperative. Now we don't look like a group of pirates, but like a group of heroes. How ridiculous. Beiji Crow sat next to Dai Duo, with his hands crossed on his chin, and the light of the bonfire reflected on his glasses. He didn't like drinking very much, because drinking would affect his thinking. That bandit is my hero. There is no right or wrong in this world, only positions. As long as we are strong enough, we can also redefine the words justice, hero, and pirate. Dai Dai smiled softly. World government is the largest pirate group. They charge heavenly gold from the participating countries around the world, and the 4 emperors charge protection fees for their respective territories. What is the difference? It's just that as the largest force, they can define any word. Even the pirates are fulfilling their obligation to protect their own territory. They have a small territory, so they can protect it in time. The world government's territory is too large and there is a lot of corruption, so it is impossible to protect so many sea areas. Even peaceful waters like the East Blue can have worms like Colonel Mouse and Colonel Monka, let alone the other 4 seas. After killing the dragon pirates, we will receive Marine's attention. We need a faster pirate ship and a stronger crew. Professional ship's doctor and chef are 2 essential crew members for sailing. You have to find a way. Otherwise, illness, virus or lack of necessary ingredients and nutrients on the vast sea may lead to the annihilation of the entire army. Crow said lightly, in his eyes, the speed of the dreadnought battleship Saber is still not as fast as Marine's regular warships, and the current crew is very incomplete. All of them are stupid young men who only know how to fight. I see. Dai Dai looked in the direction of Barati, a restaurant on the sea, and Loguetown. Both places had good chefs. As for a doctor, he might have to look for one at Grand Line. Early the next morning, under Nami's hard work, acting cute, and finally flirting and betraying his lust, Dai Dai finally, reluctantly, sent Zoro and the others out as coolies and transplanted 3 orange trees to the dreadnought battleship Saber. In addition to being loved and missed by Nami, the vitamin C in oranges can indeed effectively prevent scurvy caused by long-term sailing. In fact, Dai Dai himself wanted to transplant a few orange trees, but he didn't expect that before he said it, Nami could not wait to seduce him and give him benefits. Dai Dai could only be forced to take advantage of the situation. He even gave Nami enough time to perform talent performances in movie-level dramas before finally agreeing to the request to plant trees on the boat. Seeing Nami taking Dai Duo's orders as the boss and proudly commanding Zoro, Edrag and the others, even Nokigao couldn't stand it. Captain Dai Dai, please don't blame Nami. In fact, Nami has liked to tease others since she was a child. She doesn't have bad intentions. Nuo Kagao stood beside Dai Dai, constantly saying good things to Nami and helping her to cleanse her name. And I don't know why, even though the man next to me is a brutal pirate who kills people without batting an eyelid, yet standing next to him, I don't feel scared at all. The aura on Dai Dai made Nuo Kagao feel very safe and wanted to rely on him. I know her character. You don't have to worry. Dai Dai said lightly, while he was reminiscing about the benefits Nami had just given. This sudden wave of operations actually made his heart a little restless. To be honest, he missed Deza, who was very smooth, wild and cooperative. Yeah. After all, I have been floating in the sea for such a long time, and I haven't eaten meat for a long time. There are only 0 or countless times of this kind of thing. I wonder what she is doing now. Emotional thoughts such as feelings, desires, reason, and ambition are constantly entangled in Dai Dai's heart. Dai Dai, whose thoughts changed a little, suddenly made a decision to go back to Loguetown and snatch Desire aboard. It doesn't matter if the twisted melon is sweet or not, as long as it can quench your thirst. Emotion. I have abandoned my feelings. This stupid woman dares to make him have any unreasonable thoughts. This inner demon must be completely suppressed. Once you become his woman, don't even think about running away. In this incompatible otherworld, in this era of great pirates where order was broken, he abandoned this relationship in his heart, but there was an extra evil thought in his heart. There is no breakup, only widowhood. There's no point keeping what I can't get. Captain Dai Di. What's wrong with you? Nokagao suddenly felt an evil and cold aura on Dai Dai, which made her a little panicked. It's okay. I remembered some old accounts. I have to go back and settle them. Dai Dai regained his calm tone, and the evil thoughts that Nami had just stirred up instantly disappeared. Lust cannot defeat ambition after all. Captain Dai Dai, actually, you don't have a bad heart, right? Nuo Kagao suddenly looked into Dai Dai's eyes and said seriously, she didn't know why Dai Dai's temperament changed so much. Don't guess at people's hearts. There is no distinction between good and evil in my heart. Also, don't be curious or interested in me, otherwise, you won't be able to bear the consequences. The aura of safety on Dai Dai disappeared, and turned into an indifference that kept strangers away. He didn't want to cause any more emotional problems. Women without strength or special abilities were of no use to him. Unless she is willing to show the same emotions and eternal loyalty as a moth to a flame, maybe Dai Dai will train her. Nokigao's face turned pale and her nose became sour. She pursed her lips and showed a stiff smile. She didn't say anything about getting on the ship because she couldn't let go of the orange grove left by Belmere. It was just that she had a crush on Dai Dai, the great hero who liberated the village, the man who had a crush on her for the first time. His indifference and words made Nokagao very uncomfortable, and she felt like crying. This may be the sad feeling that a relationship has ended before it even begins. Captain Dai Dai, you are so ugly, however, I believe you are a good person. The expression on Nuo Chigao's face, where she wanted to cry and pretended to be smiling, was a bit awkward, but she still said the last words and left quickly and coolly. Looking at Nuo Chigao's back, Dai Dai shook his head. Any fruitless relationship should be broken off. Nuo Kagao couldn't let go of this orange orchard. She was too weak and had no special abilities. This kind of quick and easy way to cut through the mess was the best result. Nokigao ran back to her room. She felt her chest was tight, as if she couldn't breathe. She didn't know why she felt like this. She and Dai Dai had only known each other for a day. She frantically messed up her hair to wake herself up. After she recovered emotionally, she returned to the port. After transplanting the orange tree, the crew of the Big Daddy pirates had begun to board the ship, and Dai Dai was teaching and taming the cow sea beast Mumu. Nogio, take care of the orange groves in Belmere. I will come back after I have circled the world and drawn a navigation map of the world. Nami excitedly shouted to her sister Noki that although she was recruited by Dai Dai to join the ship on the condition of destroying the dragon pirates, after a few days of getting along with her, she had already initially understood Dai Dai's principles of doing things. That's why she boarded the Big Daddy pirates' pirate ship with greater peace of mind. You have to take care of yourself. I will always wait for you to come back. The tears that Nokigao had been suppressing just now were finally released on this sister, but she couldn't help but glance at Dai Dai, who had tamed the sea beast. This man is still attracting her, even though he said uncomfortable words. This pirate not only destroyed the dragon pirates and liberated more than 20 villages, but he also didn't even steal a large amount of the protection money that the fishmen forcibly collected. Even Nami's money to redeem the village was not taken away by Dai Dai, and all was left to the villagers of Kokoa village. How could such a person be a bad person? If you don't let me become curious and interested in you, I won't. You hateful man. Watching the Big Daddy pirates' pirate ship slowly leaving the port, pulled by cows and sea beasts, Nokigao shed more tears. I don't know if it's because of Nami or because of Dai Dai. Because of the sea beast Moo pulling the ship, all the three-masted sails of the dreadnought battleship Saber were lowered, reducing resistance and traveling much faster than sailing. Finally, it was faster than the warship. However, less than half an hour after the Big Daddy pirates set out to sea, a warship appeared in their direction. On the warship, there was a marine who looked like a mouse. He looked a little unhappy because the protection money that the dragon pirates were supposed to send every month was not delivered a day late, and the telephone bug could not get through. This made Colonel Mouse of the 16th branch of East Blue so angry that he personally sailed a boat to find the evil dragon and get his share of the protection money. Without his cover, the dragon pirates would have been wiped out by Marine long ago. The moment first saw the Marine battleship. The pirates on the dreadnought battleship Saber are not afraid. Lawless pirates like Ed Drago are even a little excited. After all, attacking Marine means that the bounty can be greatly increased. And Beiji Crow, who once destroyed a warship, didn't take East Blue's Marine seriously at all. If he were the same person before, he might have let the warship go because he was afraid of trouble. But now, Dai Dai wants to embark on the most dangerous road of becoming stronger quickly. If he kills a Marine warship, he won't be afraid that there will be no Marine generals to hunt them down. Captain Dai Dai, do you really want to take action against Marine? For a coward like Nami to actively attack Marine, it is indeed a bit scary. Nami. Although you are just a navigator, but I don't want you to maintain this cowardly attitude. You have to learn to become stronger. Moreover, Colonel Mouse opposite is the protective umbrella of the dragon pirates. He also shares in the protection fees you pay. Maybe they are going to deal with the villagers of Kokoa village now, daring to cut off his financial path. Dai Dai glanced at Nami and then said irritatingly, Nami's fighting intelligence is not weak, but her character and ability shortcomings make her often become a coward. But she can also defeat many enemies independently. What? It turns out that the evil dragon still has Marine as a protective umbrella. No wonder, no wonder. Nami's face instantly turned furious, so these branch Marines must also bear some responsibility for Belmare's death. Brother Ed Drago. Hurry up and blast them. Nami immediately shouted, not forgetting to pull Dido because she knew that these crew members only listened to Dido's words. Sonic Edrag, who had been transferred to a sniper gunner ship, did not refuse the order to bomb Marine. When two ships meet, the gunner moves first. Seeing that the pirate ship of the Big Daddy Pirates was larger than the special warship of the colonel of his own branch, Colonel Mouse knew that he seemed to have encountered a tough problem. The next moment, a blue-white laser cannon shot over, causing Colonel Mouse to tear off his beard. It's the Big Daddy Pirates. Escape quickly. At such a distance, the Marines could not clearly see the pirate flag of the unsailed pirate ship on the opposite side, and even the artillery did not even enter the shooting range, and the attack from the opposite side came over. As soon as he saw this sonic cannon, Colonel Mouse knew which pirate group he had encountered. Boom. The main mast of the warship was blown off, and the warship immediately lost its sail power and stayed in place. The fearless battleship Saber, which had a sea beast pulling the ship, rushed over immediately. Call for support. Call for support. Colonel Mouse of the 16th branch is asking for support. Our ship is attacked by the Big Daddy Pirates. Come and support us quickly. Colonel Mouse yelled at the phone bug in panic. His little eyes became even more frightened when he thought that it was the Big Daddy Pirates who had destroyed the Overlord of East Blue. This is the Butcher Pirate, the Demon Pirate, who has slaughtered thousands of pirates, and his methods are extremely cruel. After Colonel Mouse asked Marine for help, he felt that the distant water could not save the nearby fire, so he desperately called the evil dragon, hoping that this guy would answer the phone and come out to save him. But this call is destined to be unanswered, because the evil dragon has already reported to hell. Bang. The warship shook violently, and a huge cow sea beast hit the warship. The huge three-decker sailing pirate ship had already connected with the warship. How dare you openly attack the Marine battleship? Are you tired of living? Even though he was scared to the point of being ultimate, Colonel Mouse still roared fiercely and inwardly, not losing to the ferocious pirates of the Big Daddy Pirates in terms of momentum. They have already made a call for help. Our attack on the warship has become a fact. Let's destroy them all. Beiji Crow held up his glasses with the palm of his hand, showed a dangerous look, and then said to Daiduo calmly. This sentence scared Colonel Mouse to the point of peeing. The Devil Crow also massacred a warship 2 years ago. That abominable Colonel Menka was even bolder than Colonel Mouse. He actually dared to lie and claim military merit. Really scum. Then destroy it. Dai Dai looked at Colonel Mouse and his sailors. Over the years, they had accepted bribes from the dragon pirates and worked hard to cover up their evil deeds. There are some sailors, whether they are voluntary or forced, but they do get a share of the benefits of being complicit. This can be regarded as lying on the side of these more than 20 villages to suck blood. Not only did they fail to fulfill their duties as Marines, but they also became the protection umbrella of the dragon pirates, so it is not a pity to die. No. My cousin is the Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel. He is a famous Hawk Vice Admiral. You can't kill me. Otherwise, you will face endless pursuit. Colonel Mouse threatened in panic. He couldn't count on anyone else to save him now, so he could only continue to scare these lawless and cruel pirates like Dai Dai. Are you sure you're not bragging? Does a flying squirrel have useless relatives like you? However, Your background should be the entire Marine, without having to scare me with a Vice Admiral. You might as well say it again and say that your teacher is the original Marine Admiral Zephyr. Dai Dai has slowly pulled out third-generation Kitetsu, and now that he has a bounty on his head, is he still worried about the Marines chasing him? How do you know? My teacher is really Zephyr. You can't kill me. Seeing that Dai Dai had drawn his sword, Colonel Mouse had already said that no matter what the relationship was, he had to climb up first. What a flying squirrel. He didn't even know Zephyr. But before, he really used the name of the flying squirrel Vice Admiral to scare the evil dragon, so that the evil dragon did not dare to touch him. Instead, he offered a large amount of bribes and reached cooperation with him. Zephyr's hand was chopped off by pirates, so you should follow suit. Dai Dai stabbed the nonsense Colonel Mouse, and his hand fell off in the blink of an eye. Colonel Mouse, who took a second to react, screamed in pain and covered his bleeding arm. It's noisy. With a flash of the sword, Dai Duo took back the third-generation ghost and returned to the dreadnought battleship Saber. Colonel Mouse was clutching his neck and fell down in pain and despair. The other crew members also immediately eliminated the remaining Marines, snatched supplies, and set the warship on fire. However, only Zoro and Nami remained on the ship and did not participate in the killing. There was nothing wrong with Zoro. His opponent was too weak and he didn't want to take action. It was just that Nami's face was a little pale and he couldn't accept this cruel behavior for a while. But when she remembered that Colonel Mouse was the protective umbrella of the Dragon Pirates, she gave up her pity for these Marines. The Big Daddy Pirates did not stop and continued moving forward, leaving only a trail of smoke. On the other side, Smoker from Loguetown could no longer stand the lawlessness of the Big Daddy Pirates and dared to openly massacre Marine. He directly led his Marines and rushed out of his station, ignoring the orders of his superiors. A few days later, somewhere in the waters of East Blue, a huge three-decker sailboat is being pulled forward quickly by a cow and sea beast. Dai Dai and Crow had finished their training for the day, lying on the sun loungers and reading various newspapers. After the Krieg Pirates, the overlord of East Blue, the Big Daddy Pirates once again destroyed the Dragon Pirates with the highest bounty in East Blue. Bad news. The Big Daddy Pirates destroyed the 16th branch warship of East Blue for no reason, and Colonel Mouse died unfortunately. The bounties for all members of the Big Daddy Pirates have been increased again, and they have become the strongest pirate group in East Blue. The most beautiful country in the East Blue, the Kingdom of Goa, the eldest Princess Sally Nankainet is engaged to Staley, the son of the great nobleman Otluk E, and will get married the following year. Mirabelle Island, the birthplace of East Blue Pop, the annual dance conference will start in 10 days. Everyone is welcome to attend. Loguetown's annual cooking competition will begin in a week, and the champion will be rewarded, elephant tuna and 1 million Baileys. Special report. Jepu, the chef of Barati on the Sea Restaurant, revealed that the sous chef of the Sea Restaurant has the title of the first chef in East Blue. These are all news belonging to East Blue. Dai Dai also looked at the world news in the World Economic News. Saki, the captain of the 4th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, teamed up with the new captain of the 2nd Division, Firefist Ace, to defeat the DeKalbin brothers in the New World and subdue them into the Whitebeard-affiliated pirate group. Supernova Rommel's Weasel Cavendish landed on the Saboti archipelago today with a bounty of 280 million. Dai Dai, you should be able to find a good chef here. Beiji Crow pointed to a cooking competition report on the news and said casually to Dai Dai. Everyone else was looking at their new bounty orders. Among them, Zhangao was watching the news about the dance competition with excitement, but he knew that it was impossible for the Big Daddy Pirates to go to Mirabelle Island. Just back to Loguetown. Dai Dai glanced at the news and said calmly, but his tone seemed to be colder, which surprised Crow. However, he quickly remembered that Dadier Babaya was from the underworld Bado family in Loguetown. Thinking of this, Crow showed a joking smile. It seems that this captain left a bad memory in Loguetown. Captain Dai Dai, your bounty is already 30 million Baileys. Sonic Ed Drago pulled out a Day-Day bounty ticket and shouted. After the group destroyed the Dragon Pirates and Colonel Mouse, the Big Daddy Pirates' bounty increased again. The reputation of the most evil pirate group in East Blue has spread. The other crew members also rose to about 1 million to 3 million each. After all, the act of killing Marine was too bad and must be severely punished. Ghost Man Ajan and Taibi Baloo have also been included in the bounty orders of the Dai Dai Pirates, but only the little cat Nami does not have a bounty order for the time being. This also makes Nami breathe a sigh of relief. After all, she does not want to be wanted yet. Speed? to Loguetown and get ready to enter the Grand Line. Ignoring the small matter of the bounty, Dai continued his practice after reading the newspaper. This kind of notoriety should soon lead to an encirclement and suppression by the Marine Corps, which also made Dai's sense of crisis a little heavier. But this feeling is very good. Only when a person is in a sense of crisis will he continue to squeeze his own potential and not dare to relax. Seeing Dai practicing again, Roronoa Zoro, who is also a cultivator, immediately entered the training state. His bounty was actually quite different from Dai's, which greatly stimulated him. However, his bounty is already close to the previous highest bounty in East Blue, which was as high as 19 million Baileys. Crow and Ed Drago each also increased by 1 million Baileys, reaching 18 million Baileys. And the Ghost Man agent actually increased by 3 million, reaching 15 million Bailey. The other boys' prices also increased by 1 million, with almost the same increase. Less than half a day. A strange island towering like clouds has entered the sight of the Big Daddy Pirates. Clockwork Island. I heard that the poker pirates are stationed there, and they have a pirate fleet under their command, with no less than 10 pirate ships. Captain K, known as the Big Bear King, has a bounty of 11.6 million Baileys. The cadre under his command has a ghost card, the Needle Sword Clown, with a bounty of 9.9 million Bailey. Q card Sweetheart Queen, with a bounty of 7.8 million Baileys. Jack has a bounty of 3.2 million Baileys. Card A, Skunk, has a bounty of 6 million Baileys. Beiji Crow just glanced at it and read out all the information about this pirate group. He is indeed the man who is positioned as the wise man in the Big Daddy Pirates. Then rob them. Dai continued to hold the dumbbells without any change in tone, as if this kind of thing couldn't attract his attention at all. Okay. In fact, I have already set my sights on the famous Diamond Clock on Clockwork Island. If they hadn't been outnumbered, I would have succeeded. The little thief cat Nami immediately said excitedly that she didn't feel any guilt at all about robbing and stealing pirates' things. Do it. Seeing that Dai was still exercising and had no intention of taking action, Sonic Ed Drago immediately excitedly wanted to take over the command and recall what it was like to be a captain. Hey. Fourth in command, I, the second in command, haven't spoken yet. Zoro immediately put down his huge dumbbells, wiped his sweat, and walked to the bow. There was a fight, how could we leave him out? The Ghost Man agent, Taibi Baloo, and the swordsman Goras also picked up their weapons and looked at the location of Clockwork Island one by one. Now they are the strongest pirate group in East Blue. Who do they need to be afraid of? Especially the Cat Brothers, they are all bossy and majestic, and they are proud to be part of the Big Daddy Pirates. There was no trace of the trembling that he had when he attacked the Krieg pirates that day. Then it's up to you to deal with them. Beiji Crow had no intention of taking action and left the important task of attacking Clockwork Island to the two cadres Zoro and Edrago. According to the bounty comparison, it must be the crew of the Big Daddy Pirates who completely crushed the poker pirates. But there are many hidden weapons on Clockwork Island. I hope these guys won't suffer a big loss. Under the orders of Zoro and Edrago, the sea beast Moo Moo accelerated as fast as possible to land on Clockwork Island in the shortest possible time. On the other side, on the top floor of Clockwork Island, the lookout of the poker pirates had discovered the intruder. When he saw the flag of the Big Daddy Pirates, he was so frightened that he quickly sounded the alarm and ran away in panic. Report to Captain Big Bear King. This is the arrival of the strongest pirate group in East Blue. If there were other small pirate groups, he would sound the attack horn and take the initiative to destroy them. But the Big Daddy Pirates, which have been the most popular recently, are so fierce that he can't even resist at all. The officers of the poker pirates who were playing cards and gambling for money suddenly frowned when they heard the sharp siren. They have occupied this island for 6 years and have always been the strongest pirate group in this area. No other pirates dare to provoke them. Could it be the marine attack? Go and see what's going on. Several people immediately stood up and walked out quickly, while the skunk flew out directly with his gas jet. In the hall on the top floor of Clockwork Island, the Big Bear King had looked through the telescope and saw the incoming Big Daddy Pirates. He was a little nervous at once, but he quickly calmed down. Start the huge clockwork immediately and aim the king's cannon at them. Lousy doesn't believe that anyone can stop the power of the king's cannon. The Big Bear King shouted with murderous intent. He had been operating on Clockwork Island for 6 years. This king's cannon was designed to deal with powerful pirate groups such as the Krieg Pirates and the Dragon Pirates. No one can take Clockwork Island from his hands. Although the Big Daddy pirates destroyed the Krieg pirates and the Dragon pirates, as long as they destroy their pirate ships, everything will be easy. Kala. Kala. The machines on Clockwork Island kept rotating, causing the entire island to rotate slowly. The king's cannon with a huge caliber has been aimed at the Big Daddy pirates, who are rapidly attacking. Fire. The Big Bear King gave an order, and a giant cannonball with a diameter of 2 to 3 meters was fired at the Big Daddy pirates. Go to hell for Lousy. Even if there is a bounty of 30 million, you will die at the hands of Lousy, haha. The Big Bear King laughed wildly, and these cadres also laughed because of the captain's confidence, which reduced their fear of the Big Daddy pirates. Dai Dai was exercising on the dreadnought battleship Saber when a red light suddenly flashed in his eyes. He immediately dropped the giant dumbbell, quickly ran to the bow of the ship, and jumped on the head of the sea beast Moo Moo who was pulling the ship. Guard the barrier. Dai Dai stood on Momo's head and held up a huge transparent barrier. Nami and the others were surprised. The next moment, a huge cannonball landed and hit the barrier, causing a huge explosion and churning waves that shook the entire pirate ship greatly. Brother Edrag. Go back. Everyone is here, kill them. As for the garbage pirate group that disturbed his cultivation, Dai Dai wanted to kill them himself. As if feeling Dai Dai's anger and murderous intent, the sea beast Moo Mo swam faster, just wanting to reach the island quickly. Clear. Sonic Cannon. Ed Drago was also startled by this sudden attack. Feeling the coldness of Captain Dai Dai, he immediately charged up his strength and blasted back at the top of Clockwork Island. The Big Bear King didn't expect that the killer weapon he had prepared for several years would be blocked. Captain, be careful. The skunk flew over and knocked down the Big Bear King. A terrifying blue-white laser sound wave penetrated their top floor hall. Hurry. Load the second shot. The Big Bear King was really a little panicked. The strength of the Big Daddy pirates seemed to have exceeded his imagination. Soon they successfully reloaded and fired again, and this time it was even more terrifying. They were actually cut in half by a 40-meter-long sword from the opposite side, and there was no chance of hitting them. Gulu. Exon. Captain, let's run now. Skunk immediately said anxiously that such a terrifying pirate group as the Big Daddy pirates was no longer something they could deal with. After the king's cannon was useless, there was no hope for them to fight head-on. Yes. Let's retreat first. Judging from their route, they must be going to the Grand Line. Let's avoid the limelight first and then fight back. The Big Bear King no longer hesitated and immediately turned around and ran away, more decisively than these cadres. Upon seeing this, the other cadres immediately followed and fled. The pressure placed on them by the Big Daddy pirates was too great. But how could Dai Dai, who had been shot twice, let them run away? The sea beast Moo Moo had already arrived at the shore of Clockwork Island with the dreadnought battleship Saber. The crew of the Big Daddy pirates immediately landed quickly and massacred towards the top of Clockwork Island. Under the orders of the Big Bear King, the pirate minions were desperately trying to block the attack of the Big Daddy pirates, while these cadres wanted to escape on the other side. But Dai Dai, who had already awakened observation haki, quickly noticed these powerful ants trying to escape. The aura they exuded among the many minions was like fireflies in the dark night. 2 demon fruit powers, and a bunch of trash. Dai Dai pulled out the 3rd-generation ghost and killed him. Zoro and Crow immediately followed after seeing this. They knew that Dai Dai had observation haki and must have discovered something, and they were also working hard to awaken. Boom. A transparent barrier slashed across like a big knife, blocking the way of the 5 Big Bear Kings, startling them all. The Big Bear King gritted his teeth and turned red all over, like red-hot steel, slamming into this glass-like barrier. He didn't believe that this barrier couldn't be broken. Clang. With a loud noise, the Big Bear King was thrown back and rolled dozens of times on the ground, vomiting blood crazily from his mouth. Seeing the captain's tragic situation, these poker cadres showed their special abilities and ran away in panic. Skunk A's gas injector surged, leaving behind a stream of poisonous gas that flew high into the sky. Queen Sweetheart also turned into a ball of paste and instantly found a gap to escape. The Needle Sword Clown also wanted to escape, but was met by Zoro, an old rival. They had already fought against each other before, and he was defeated miserably at the hands of this pirate hunter. And Jack was instantly chopped down by Beiji Crow. A little piece of trash with a bounty of more than 3 million yuan, there was no need for Crow to use a second move. I hate these things the most. Smelling the stinky gas left by Skunk A, the veins on Dai Dai's forehead jumped and bulged. This kind of garbage must die. Barrier thrust. The huge barrier on the ground instantly transformed into a huge pointed cone, which suddenly shot into the sky. It completely penetrated the skunk in an instant, causing him to splatter 3 liters of blood on the spot. Then he was whipped out by Dai Dui and flew straight down to hell. The needle sword clown was also chopped to the ground by Zoro in a few moves, and was unable to resist anymore. At this time, the Big Bear King also stood up again, but when he saw his subordinates dying and escaping and being seriously injured, his eyes turned red. The steel fruit ability was activated, and the temperature of his whole body increased again. I will fight with you. Like a red-hot locomotive, the Big Bear King crazily rushed towards Dai Dui with an unstoppable momentum. Strike the barrier. Dai Dai didn't pay attention to him at all. A huge impact barrier rushed towards the Big Bear King, and then he chased after the Paramecia plastic fruit ability user without looking back. It's not that easy to escape under his observation haki. The Big Bear King's steel train impact and Dai Dai's impact barrier collided with each other, causing a wave of air to explode. The sound resounded throughout the sky, and sparks even spattered. But without any accident, the Big Bear King was knocked out again. This time he completely rolled his eyes and blood was pouring from his head. No one is harder than Dai Di. The Sugar Queen fled madly through the cracks, even losing all her clothes. Her development of Paramecia paste fruit was still at the most basic level, and she couldn't even assimilate her clothes. In Grand Line's Marine Rebel General Gaspardi, his Paramecia gummy fruit can turn his entire body into gummy candies and transform into various forms. The first of the 3 generals in the New World, Katakori's Paramecia Nuo fruit, is simply too strong to play. He imitates Straw Hat Luffy's rubber fruit moves and throws dozens of fists, which is trivial. He plays like Logia, just as strong. Maybe this is the absolute difference between 7.8 million, 95 million and 1.057 billion. Queen Sweetheart turned into a ball of paste, shivering and hiding in a crevice and corner, praying to these murderous gods to leave Clockwork Island quickly. Even the powerful Captain Big Bear was defeated so easily. She felt that this strongest pirate group in East Blue was really a devil. Come out. Suddenly, a voice made the frightened Sweetheart Queen tremble again, but she did not dare to move or speak. I know you are in there. If you don't come out, I will kill you. Dai Dai punched the crack, creating a huge crater, which frightened the Sweetheart Queen inside to the point where she could not maintain her pulpy state. She didn't know why this person could find her location. I can find your life breath, you can't run away. If you don't come out, wait until I catch you, you will die. Dai Dai said coldly, if he wastes too much time, then don't blame him for being cruel. Don't kill me. I'll come out. Queen Sweetheart immediately emerged from the crack and slowly appeared in front of Dai Dai, but she still maintained her pasty human form. Can you give me a dress? Queen Sweetheart asked in a tearful voice. This man was so terrifying, just the cold breath made her tremble all over. But the next moment, a dark, hard hand grabbed her neck fiercely, causing her to instantly lose her mushy body and return to her original shape. A little out of breath, she struggled with her face flushed. Why could this man grab her pasty body? You wasted a lot of my time and I'm very angry now. Dai Dai looked at this fair-skinned woman covered in holy light warning, and suddenly a burst of evil fire came over her body, as if Liang Kun was possessing her, and pressed her down. I don't know how long it took. This fair-skinned woman, wrapped in Dai Duo's cloak and rosy face, followed Dai Dui back to the center of Clockwork Island. At this time, the entire Clockwork Island was already under the control of the Big Daddy pirates. Except for the pirates who were massacred on the spot, the rest were already kneeling in the hall, including the residents of Clockwork Island who were suppressed and coerced by the pirates. Beiji Kella gave Dai Dai a meaningful expression, obviously knowing what happened, but Dai Dai didn't care. He is now a lawless pirate who pursues power. Just let out some anger. And Nami is working hard to dismantle the huge diamond clock, which is worth hundreds of millions of Baileys. Now she has no time to pay attention to Dai Dai who has disappeared. Now she only has Bailey in her eyes. Are all these pirates going to be killed? What Beiji Crow said with a smile made people feel as if they were falling into a cold cave, making people tremble with fear. Dai Dai did not answer, but walked towards the mayor and his wife of Clockwork Island, a couple dressed in scientist attire. Can you modify the ship? Dai Dai asked. Even an island can be transformed into a Clockwork Island. Their technological capabilities are quite good. So, should they be able to transform the technology that uses clockwork to achieve short-term flight of pirate ships? How do you want to transform it? The mayor and his wife asked with a little fear on their faces. This group of pirates was more ferocious than the poker pirates, and they didn't dare to resist at all. I hope to add an emergency escape function at the stern and a clockwork power for upward flight at the bottom of the boat. Dai probably told them his thoughts. Anyway, there is another way to escape, or to prepare for landing on Sky Island. We need time, supplies and people. Seeing Dai's expressions of refusal, the mayor and his wife had no choice but to agree. You can drive these pirates however you want, it doesn't matter if you kill them, just complete the transformation as quickly as possible. By the way, your son is not dead yet. Help me complete the transformation, and maybe your son will come back. Dai prevented these scientists from making any mistakes or plots, and directly threatened them with their sons. Really? The mayor and his wife excitedly said that when the poker pirates occupied Clockwork Island, they had to exile their newborn son to the sea to find another way for him to survive. I didn't expect to actually hear this news now. It must be the information they left on the baby that let this pirate know. Renovate it well. If you satisfy me, your island will be liberated. After Dai finished speaking, he left all the remaining matters to Beiji Kella, the wise man, to arrange. He took Queen Sweetheart to visit the island and find a place to vent his anger for a second round. Dai had some conscience towards Desire at the beginning, and he also had some conscience towards Nuoki Gaoshi, but now he has no conscience towards Queen Sweetheart. This is simply a product of desire, without any emotion at all. In this way, the Big Daddy pirates briefly stopped at Clockwork Island, waiting for the ship to be upgraded. Beiji Crow tried to learn from Dai, and used his methods to subdue the Big Bear King, the captain of the poker pirates, by throwing the steel fruit user into the sea, or forcing him to commit suicide if he refused to surrender. Anyway, Crow will take the initiative to kill him. The Needle Sword Clown and Pigjack were already tortured on the second day, begging to join the Big Daddy pirates and become pirates on the ship. This finally raised the status of the Catman brothers and Taibi Baloo to a higher level on the ship, no longer being at the bottom. Without a bounty on his body, even the pirates of the Big Daddy pirates can't do it. Nami also discovered the relationship between Dai and Queen Sweetheart. In order to stabilize her position on the ship, she has begun to show her charm in front of Dai more. She must not give up the financial power on the ship to that vixen, especially the diamond clock she just obtained. She must not let Queen Sweetheart touch it. Dai also appropriately expressed his respect for Nami. Her sailing talent is an indispensable and important part of the Big Daddy pirates. Of course, if you want to become an integral part of Dai, you may need to develop a bit. 5 days later, the Big Daddy pirates' dreadnought battleship Saber finally completed 2 clockwork transformations with the help of all the townspeople of Clockwork Island and a group of pirate prisoner coolies. The Big Bear King finally succumbed and became a little brother after being soaked in the seawater for 5 days and 5 nights without a resting place by Crow. Crow gave him a chance to commit suicide, but the Big Bear King did not dare. The Big Bear King could only abandon his captaincy and glory, become the steel bear of the Big Daddy pirates, and start his life as a pirate. The poker pirates were also officially disbanded by Crow. Starting from Crow himself, he finally got another pirate captain on board, which made Crow very satisfied. He can't even be a captain, and people like Ed Drago and Iron Bear can't be captains either. I have been caught in the rain, so I have to take down all their umbrellas no matter what. As for the minions of the poker pirates, leave it to the mayor of Clockwork Island to handle it themselves. Whether they are escorted to Marine or killed and released is up to them. Before Dai left, he told the mayor and his wife that their son was now following a young man named Broad and became a thief. Let them find out the news about the thief brother by themselves. Dai doesn't have time to help them find anyone anyway. Because the cooking competition in Loguetown was about to start in 2 days, they had to rush there quickly. The upgraded version of the dreadnought battleship Saber is moving forward rapidly under the pull of the cow sea beast Moo Moo. Dai didn't want to waste any more time, so he asked Nami to guide the pirate ship towards Loguetown. If he encountered any pirate group or marine on the way, he would directly start a fight. However, perhaps because the flag of the Big Daddy pirates is relatively famous in East Blue, they actually reached Loguetown without encountering any obstacles along the way. After Smoker searched for the Big Daddy pirates in the waters of Kokoa for several days with no results, he was scolded by his boss back to Loguetown. The order of Loguetown is being maintained now. After all, this annual cooking competition does attract many tourists and chefs. Dai also knew that his Big Daddy pirates were somewhat famous in East Blue, so in order to have enough time to find a suitable chef, they chose to land quietly in a remote place in Loguetown and did not dare to appear at the main port of Loguetown. Because of the sea beast Moo, not many people were needed to guard the ship. Moreover, they had robbed the Krieg pirates and the Dragon pirates, and they had deals with the underground dark world, so almost everyone in the Big Daddy Pirates had a phone bug. Achieving timely contact is not a problem. Because pirates sail on the sea for a long time, once they encounter an island, they are eager to land on the island. Generally, no one wants to stay on the ship unless ordered to do so. When landing, Dai specially sent the swordsman Golas to watch Zoro, a road idiot, in case he would not be able to come back. Because these crew members are all criminals with a bounty on their head, they all have to dress up in disguise before they dare to land in this town of beginning and end. Dai did not go shopping with Nami and Queen Sweetheart, nor did he go with anyone else, because he still had his own things to do. Return to this familiar Loguetown again. There is no feeling of nostalgia in Dai, he is only unhappy and angry here. He followed a familiar road and returned to his former home. The bloodlines on the ground have been cleaned from the past massacres, but there are still bloodstains on the walls. His old house was in dilapidated condition, with a broken door, a mess inside, and was smashed to pieces. It seems that after killing so many members of the Bado family, he suffered crazy revenge. They couldn't find Dai and could only destroy his house. Dai thought that Desire might keep this house, after all, there were intimate memories of the two of them here. But now it seems that she obviously does not have this ability, and her status in the Bado family is not as high as imagined. Hey. No more memories, that's better. Dai chuckled, held third-generation Kache tightly, turned around and walked away, heading straight to Desire's residence. After a while, he arrived at a house, but he just took one look and left immediately, because his observation hockey didn't sense anyone, so he probably went somewhere else. Then, Dai quickly headed towards the Bado family's underworld bar. Bang! Dai kicked down the door of the bar and entered the Bado underworld bar without restraint. The gang members inside looked at the door angrily, but when they saw Big Daddy Bobby's appearance, they instantly became silent. Hatred, fear, and even admiration, all kinds of eyes looked at the captain of the Big Daddy Pirates who had the highest reward in East Blue. Dai slowly walked to the bar and picked up the person in charge by his collar. Where has Desire been recently? Where has Bado wandered? The cold tone made the person in charge of the tavern swallow a few times. When he saw Dai's sharp eyes, he was so frightened that his heart skipped a beat. Desire went to sea and seemed to have formed a candy pirate group. I don't know where he is now. Boss Bado should be at the cooking competition. The person in charge of the tavern was so frightened by Dai's murderous intent that he immediately revealed the information he knew. How dare she go out to sea by herself? Dai's face was gloomy. He originally came back to take Desire away this time, but he didn't expect that she would form her own pirate group and leave Loguetown. Dai threw the person in charge of the tavern in, then left the tavern and went straight to the Bado family headquarters. On the other side, Yubaba suddenly became a little uneasy, and her degraded observation hockey quickly sensed the danger coming. That man is back. Boom. The door was blown open directly. Long time no see. Old Lady Tang. Dai looked at the person behind the Bado family with a smile on his face, but his tone was a bit cold. As soon as he broke in, dozens of members of the Bado family surrounded him, and the members who recognized Babaya were already trembling a little. Babaya, didn't you promise us that you would leave Loguetown and not harm the Bado family? Yuba held her crutch tightly and looked at Babaya with a little fear. This man's progress was so fast that even Hockey had surpassed her, not to mention that Babaya also had an unsolvable devil fruit ability. I let you go once because of Desire's face, but now Desire has gone to sea on his own and is no longer a member of the Bado family. Moreover, do you think I still care about what that stupid woman thinks now? Dai got colder and colder as he spoke, and finally laughed and roared with a bit of madness and relief. The powerful momentum and sense of oppression made Granny Yu and the members of the Bado family turn pale. On the other side, the person in charge of Bartolomeo's underworld tavern was frantically calling Bartolomeo and Desire. Big Daddy Babaya was back, and he was back with murderous intent. Compared to the bustling cooking competition, the Bado family headquarters was completely silent at this time, and the atmosphere was extremely solemn and cold. Some gang members could no longer stand the momentum and depressing atmosphere. Their legs began to tremble unconsciously and cold sweat broke out on their heads. What do you want us to do? To calm your anger? Yubaba didn't say anything about right or wrong. In this world, strength comes first, and whoever has the strongest fist has the final say. As for why Babaya had been with the Bado family before, it was the Bado family that gave Babaya the chance to rise. These words are useless. Yubaba did not expect that this mute would rise so quickly. She admitted that she had overlooked it and not only failed to make good friends with Babaya, but she had offended him severely. I have a persecutory delusion. When I think of people still hating me and thinking about me, I want to kill them all. I am also a very vulgar person. When I think of people who make me very unhappy, I also want to kill them all. Dai Dai walked towards Granny Yu step by step, frightening the gang members to keep retreating. Then he leaned over and smiled nervously in Granny Yu's ear. His tone was slow and light, like a joke, but full of murderous intent. Yubaba held the crutch tightly with both hands. Her pupils suddenly shrank into black dots and kept trembling. She really provoked a pervert, a murderer. A few days ago, when Yubaba saw the news that Babaya killed 1 or 2,000 members of the Krieg pirates alone, she already felt great worry and fear. Babaya is too murderous. I didn't expect that this murderous god would really come back. Don't you even care what Desire thinks now? And now that Desire is not on the island, who else can suppress Babaya? Let Ba Tuo go. I will give you my life. Yubaba clenched her fists and suddenly let out a breath, almost pleading. She didn't dare to take action because she had no chance of winning, and there was a big daddy pirate group behind Babaya, all of whom were big pirates from East Blue. Nearly every member of the crew is a vicious criminal with a bounty on their backs. Why do you always like to negotiate terms with me? Dai Dai grabbed Yubaba's neck, picked her up violently, and roared fiercely. Ryo Kue Dao Yukiza is like this, Desire is like this, and now Bartolomeo is like this too. Can't you see clearly where we are standing now? Weak people are not qualified to negotiate terms. At the beginning, I handed Liang Kue Dao Shui Zhou over with a smile. Do you still remember? Babaya. Put down Grandma. A hurried figure rushed in quickly. Bartolomeo panted heavily and yelled angrily at Dai Dai. He looked very ferocious with sharp teeth. After he received the phone bug message at the cooking competition site, he ran all the way back without daring to slow down at all. What are you barking at? Dai Duo pinched the struggling Yubaba, slowly turned his head, grinned at Bartolomeo, and revealed a bloodthirsty look in his eyes. Asshole. Dai. Bartolomeo roared and rushed towards Dai Di. In his limited mind, he just wanted to rescue Grandma, and he didn't even consider whether he could beat her, or whether Babaya would kill Grandma on the spot. Strength. You can't just shout it out. Dai Dai's dark left hand pinched Yubaba's neck tightly, and his right fist also turned dark. He quickly charged back and slammed into the ogre Bartolomeo, who was rushing towards him at a very fast speed. Bang. Bartolomeo was instantly blown away and hit the wall. The wall collapsed in an instant, stirring up countless dust. Boss Bado. Many members of the underworld rushed to the ruins to dig out their boss. Unexpectedly, the usually powerful boss Bado was killed with just one move. And most of the gang members raised their spears, knives and swords, all aimed at the rampant Big Daddy Babaya. If Babaya didn't have Yubaba as a hostage, they would definitely shoot right away and shoot this bastard into a sieve. Seeing Bartolomeo being mercilessly beaten away by Babaya, Yubaba no longer had any hope of reconciliation. She gathered a weaker armament hockey in her hand and suddenly attacked Babaya's heart. Too weak. Too slow. Dai Dai grabbed Yubaba's hand with his right hand and twisted it suddenly. Amidst Yubaba's screams, her hand was crushed into a chicken claw and was completely destroyed. Then he was thrown by Babaya towards the Bator family symbol located in the hall. It was smashed to pieces, just like Dai Dai's original house. Seeing that there were no hostages in Dai Dai's hands, the panicked gang members immediately shouted and opened fire. The intensive gunshots and cannons sounded instantly, and the violent explosions of artillery fire were heard by the Loguetown center where the cooking competition was held. The sudden explosion and the thick smoke rising into the sky immediately attracted the attention of many people. Interesting, is this guy Dai Dai? Beiji Croton adjusted his glasses, chuckled, disappeared into the crowd, and rushed towards the smoke. Asshole. Is the Bator family fighting in this direction? Colonel Marine Smoker of Loguetown said unhappily, but he immediately drove his smoking motorcycle to the scene of the incident quickly. No one can act recklessly in his jurisdiction. Originally, he wanted to relax in this cooking competition today. As the highest officer of Loguetown Marine Base, he was also invited to be a temporary judge, scoring the chefs, and trying the food of chefs from various places for free. But now, it has been destroyed by these bastards of the Bado family. As for these chefs who are competing, no matter whether it is a gang or a pirate group, They had to continue to complete their competition anyway, grab the title of East Blue's #1 chef this year, and win those rich prizes. On the sea, a pirate ship with a somewhat feminine pirate flag was quickly returning to Loguetown. A red-haired woman on the ship looked extremely anxious. Unexpectedly, just a few days after he went to sea, the man came back. Hearing the frightened tone of the head of the Bardo family tavern, Babaya seemed to come back with murderous intent. Thinking again of Babaya's recent massacres against the Krieg pirates, dragon pirates, and marine battleships, Desire felt an ominous premonition in his heart. If I had known better, I would have listened to you, Baba, and gone directly to Babaya, joined the Big Daddy pirates, and worked hard to ease the relationship between the two parties, instead of forming some kind of pirate group myself and wasting so much time recruiting crew members. Now I can only hope that everything can be undone. However, the current situation seems to be developing in a very bad direction. At this time, inside the Bardo family headquarters, after the billowing smoke from the endless artillery bombardment slowly dissipated, Big Daddy Babaya stood unscathed, and his scarlet eyes made all the underworld members of the Bardo family tremble with fear and chills. Bartolomeo crawled out from the ruins, his fangs covered in blood. He didn't understand why he couldn't catch up with Babaya's strength even though he had already trained twice as hard. Instead, the gap was getting bigger and bigger. He couldn't accept the fact that he was instantly killed by Babaya, and he wanted to fight Babaya again. Bardo. Run to the marine branch. Yubaba felt that Babaya's murderous intent was getting stronger. She knew that today's killing would not stop easily. In order to save this grandson, she could only let Batuo seek a chance to survive from Marine. No, Grandma, I don't believe he can be that strong. All brothers, kill me. Let Laozi continue to kill him. Devil Fruit's ability also consumes stamina, drain him to death. With a murderous look on his face, Bartolomeo pulled out the pistol on his waist and opened fire first. Upon seeing this, other gang members immediately launched a second round of fire coverage. Bardo, get away. Are you disobeying Grandma? Yubaba shouted sternly. She endured the injuries on her hands and body, stood up slowly, and walked towards Bartolomeo step by step amid the roar of artillery fire, to get rid of this bastard quickly. But the next moment, a light green transparent giant appeared in the smoke of gunfire, and a 40-meter-long knife came across with unstoppable power. In the Bardo family, a large number of gang members who were shooting and firing were cut off at the waist. Blood and flesh spattered in an instant. The entire Bardo family headquarters was also cut off with a knife and collapsed. Smoker, who was driving a smoking motorcycle, saw the headquarters of the Bardo family suddenly collapsed, and a transparent giant emerged, continuing to wield a huge long knife and slashing at nearby buildings. This made Smoker look a little stunned. When did East Blue have such a powerful demon fruit power? Is it Dadier Babaya? Smoker quickly remembered that when Dai destroyed the Krieg pirates, he turned into a small armored giant, but that armored giant was only 4 or 5 meters tall, and now this transparent giant is 20 or 30 meters tall. His strength has also skyrocketed so horribly, isn't it? Beiji Crow was shocked when he saw this terrifying giant, but soon his eyes were filled with admiration and expectation. Maybe this captain could really lead them to the Grand Line and into the New World. Run. Bardo. Yubaba almost screamed and shouted. This Baba Ya is too terrifying and cannot be dealt with at all. His strength can already set foot in the New World, and even the Grand Line cannot stop him. At this moment, Granny Yu regretted it very much. If she had known, she would have let him go to sea and let Desire go with him, and she would not have ended up like this. The Bardo family she worked so hard to build is gone. It was destroyed in Babaya's hands. She once went to the New World with the pirate group, and after being defeated, she ran away like crazy. Unexpectedly, she had already returned to the weakest sea, the East Blue, to establish the Bator family, but she still couldn't escape the result of being destroyed. F*K them all. Dai stepped on Granny Tang, crushing her like an ant. He didn't want to see this old woman again. No. Grandma. Bartolomeo, the ogre, finally shed tears when he saw Yubaba being trampled to death. He looked at the giant transformed by Babaya with hatred. But the next second, Dai held a knife in both hands and slashed at Bartolomeo. You should also go down and accompany him. Dai showed no mercy, and those who hated him and made him unhappy would all die. Bye man. A spiral column of smoke rushed towards Bartolomeo at a very high speed, as if trying to save the underworld boss. At the same time, a large amount of smoke surged towards the giant, surrounding it and interfering with its sight. No one could stop him. Killing people under Smoker's eyes. It's useless. Dai Dai sneered and ignored the smoke. Observation Hockey could clearly feel Bartolomeo's position. His giant knife suddenly shifted and directly split Bartolomeo in the white mist's giant hand into two. Cut. A generation of gangsters in Loguetown has fallen. Dai Dai also laughed wildly. These suffocations are finally over. Bastard Babaya. How dare you kill someone in front of me? The white hunter smoker was furious. He wrapped the giant in smoke and wanted to slowly suffocate him to death. He didn't believe how long Babaya could stay in this state. After all, the more powerful devil fruit's ability moves are, the more energy they consume. And now he is waiting for work, and he is not afraid of Babaya's giant physical attack. He can definitely wear away Babaya's barrier giant. Not only will I kill in front of you, Lousy will also beat you up. Dai Dai dispersed the barrier giant with an expressionless face, his hands instantly turned black, and he suddenly blasted somewhere in the smoke. A figure flew out instantly. Moreover, with one successful attack, Dai Dai gained the upper hand and launched a series of combos against Smoker. He once passed by Fire Fist Ace, and Smoker also had to bear some responsibility because he drove away Fire Fist Ace so quickly. Damn. Someone here in East Blue actually knows how to armament hockey. Smoker was caught off guard. Otherwise, with his strength, even if he did not use elemental transformation, he would not have been suppressed by Babaya just with his physical skills. He tried his best to stab Babaya with his sea stone weapon 10 hands, and he also wanted to sneak attack Babaya who didn't know what to do. Sea stone weapons. Lousy has them too. Dai Dai pulled out a small stick with a sea stone on the top and stabbed it towards Smoker. What? You even have this? Smoker cursed. Armament hockey and sea stone weapons, which are rare in the Grand Line, actually appeared on this little pirate from East Blue. Dai Dai also has armament hockey and a barrier to block his juju, but he doesn't have many counterattacks to block the threat of sea stone. Smoker. What the hell did you learn from Zephyr? Even hockey didn't learn it. Dai Dai punched Smoker in the face with his dark right fist, sending him flying away, leaving a trail of blood in the air. Dai Dai will not hold back just because Smoker is a truly righteous Marine. Now they are enemies. It is a life and death battle between Marine and pirates. Beiji Crow, who came from behind, saw Dai Dai fighting with Colonel Marine again. He believed in Dai Dai's strength, and then sneered and killed these underworld members of the Bado family one by one. It is his duty as a crew member to handle the tail for the captain. The battle between Dai Dai and Smoker soon attracted more and more people to watch. Marine branch troops have arrived, and the crew members of the Big Daddy Pirates have also arrived one after another. The two sides started fighting as soon as they disagreed, starting a large-scale chaos in Loguetown. The pirate groups who quietly landed in Loguetown also rose up and exposed their minions. There are pirates who fish in troubled waters and sneak attack Marines. There are also pirates who directly rob and make a fortune, and of course there are also pirates who don't want to get involved and just leave Loguetown and enter the Grand Line. When the crew members of the Big Daddy Pirates saw their captain openly fighting against the Marines in Loguetown, they all took off their disguises and came out angrily. If these bounty criminals face a Marine general like Smoker, they may be submissive, temporarily avoid the edge, or even avoid fighting and run away. But if they are chasing Marines, they will no longer be afraid, and they will all be excited to kill Marines. And Roronoa Zoro actually saw a familiar figure in Marine. This female Marine with a sword looked exactly like his childhood friend Kuina. He unconsciously stepped forward and started sparring with the female Marine. However, this female Marine was too different from Kuina, and her swordsmanship was a bit messy, which made him a little disappointed. Smoker, who was fighting against Dai Dai, saw that Loguetown was in complete chaos. He became even more angry, but he couldn't do anything about Dai Dai, and he even had to be careful about being killed by Dai Dai. This Dai Dai is so fierce, his moves are all direct hits to the vital point, killing people everywhere. And this bastard not only has sea stone weapons, but also learned armament hockey, completely restraining Smoker's performance. In the past, Logia Smoke Fruit's ability was unmatched in the land of East Blue, but now he has to work hard to remind himself not to believe too much in his elementalization, otherwise he may really be seriously injured by Dai Duo. You hand over Marine 6 styles and I'll let you go once. Dai Dai hit Smoker in the chest with his armed fist again and said coldly that he didn't want to stay in Loguetown for too long. After destroying the Bator family and finding the chef, they would leave immediately. What nonsense are you talking about? Do you think a righteous Marine would give in and be afraid of death? Smoker continued to kill Dai D without any fear. In his eyes, there was no such thing as retreat. At worst, he died with honor, and his coffin could be covered with the glorious military flag after death. Then let's see if your backstage can come to rescue you in time. Dai Dai's face became colder and colder, and his eyes were murderous. He didn't believe that Aokiji Kuzan could still appear in East Blue to save the situation in time. But the next moment, it was as if the goddess of fate was taking care of Smoker and taunting Dai Dai. A bright-looking woman with a red top hat, short purple hair, side bangs, and sunglasses slowly appeared in the turbulent Loguetown, carrying a large flag on her back. Trash. You bastards. You trash. Pick up your weapons and kill these pirates. Seeing Loguetown falling into chaos and fighting everywhere, the bright red-dressed woman who originally came to Loguetown to taste the delicious food finally couldn't bear the tragic situation of burning, killing and looting. The commander of the Eastern Army of the Revolutionary Army took the initiative to expose his whereabouts. Bello Betty began to wave her red flag and activated the power of the Encourage fruit to boost the morale of the civilians who were being hunted and plundered by the pirates. This instantly reversed the fighting atmosphere in Loguetown. Dai Dai frowned when he saw that there was actually a revolutionary army in Loguetown. How could he meet this guy? The commander of the Eastern Army of the Revolutionary Army. Although she is said to be responsible for the affairs of the Revolutionary Army in East Blue, she is usually stationed on the Grand Line. She did not expect to appear in Loguetown now. Revolutionary Army. White Hunter Smoker also looked at Bello Betty with a solemn expression. Pirates are certainly Marines' enemies, but the Revolutionary Army is Marines' enemy. Because according to the orders of Naval Headquarters, dealing with the Revolutionary Army has a higher priority than dealing with the pirates. Even though the Eastern Army commander of the Revolutionary Army is now saving these civilians, Marine still has to take action against the Revolutionary Army. Under the inspiration of Bello Betty, these various pirate groups who rioted in East Blue were quickly suppressed by the furious civilians. Even the crew members of the Big Daddy Pirates were besieged by civilians with high morale. This made Dai Dai's expression very solemn. Facing Bello Betty, who had a bounty of more than 400 million, Dai Dai had no confidence in dealing with her. Smoker. You are very lucky. I hope to meet you on the Grand Line. Dai Dai thought for a moment, then did not continue to attack Smoker, but chose to immediately order his men to retreat. Under the cover of Dai Dai's efforts in using a huge barrier to block the escape route, the crew of the Big Daddy Pirates successfully escaped the pursuit of these people and retreated quickly. Bello Betty's Encourage fruit is so terrifying that it can actually give an ordinary person the power to easily have a bounty of tens of millions. Every civilian can blast bounty pirates like the Catman Brothers and Taibi Baloo. Dai Dai remembered that in the original work, in the Kingdom of Lucia in the Grand Line, Bello Betty once used the ability of the Encourage fruit to make a girl selling milk defeat Peach Beard with 52 million Baileys with one stick. What an exaggerated increase. By increasing her encouragement fruit, some ordinary people can defeat the Peachbeard pirates, which far exceeds East Blue's highest bounty. I have to admit that if the Big Daddy Pirates don't escape now, they will be completely overthrown by the people with the ability to inspire them. Dai Dai didn't expect that he would be kicked out of Loguetown in such an aggrieved way. He didn't even have the opportunity or time to find a chef. On the other side, Nami and Queen Sweetheart, through deception and threats, finally brought a red-haired female chef back to the dreadnought battleship Saber. She is the favorite to win this cooking competition, Huo Ran Carmen, known as the Passionate Daughter. Due to the pirate riots, this annual Loguetown cooking competition was forced to end, and even the championship prize had been robbed by pirates. Nami always wanted to call Dai Dai to take credit, but Dai Dai had no time to answer her call and was leading the crew to evacuate frantically. Fortunately, Bello Betty had no intention of pursuing the Big Daddy Pirates. After inspiring the people of Loguetown to suppress the pirate riot, she mysteriously disappeared. As the world government's top felon, she didn't want to stay too long in Loguetown after her whereabouts were exposed, otherwise it would be very troublesome if she was hunted down by Naval Headquarters and CP0. He would even be warned and punished by Dorag, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. On the other side, Smoker also knew that he could not do anything to Dai Dai for the time being. He could only arrest the pirates who were knocked down by civilians first. Although Smoker was very unhappy about taking advantage of a wave of revolutionary troops, he would not let these pirates go for such a stupid reason. While Dai Dai and the crew of the Big Daddy Pirates were quickly evacuating, Zoro and Crow saw for the first time that there was actually this weird and powerful devil fruit ability that could make an ordinary person look like as powerful as a super soldier. If this kind of ability were placed in the army, how terrifying it would be.